Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm never sure when to actually speak up because usually I'm hosting somebody. My regrets to Kite260 for dropping that host, but I'm a little late, so we'll be coming back to the Red Strings Club. I just wanted to get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. More so for the purposes. Actually, I also need to upload some VODs because I've been bad at that. So I'll just take a quick second while I get everything organized. We will be doing the Red Strings Club again. And I suppose, oh my goodness, I don't think I've uploaded anything since Christmas. So there's going to be some missing videos for sure. I hope I didn't miss out the finale of XCOM, but I think I did. Anyways, I sometimes feel a little bit of an obligation just to let people get in, not to jump into the gameplay right away. Incidentally, for those of you who do regularly watch by VOD, if you notice that stuff hasn't come online recently, definitely feel free to Definitely feel free to speak up. I try to. Yeah, we're missing some. Sorry guys, just 1 second here. I know this will make for not very stimulating audio. Anyways, for those of you who do watch by VODs, if there hasn't been one for a while, it may be because I've forgotten. I know Twitch wants me to wait before I upload things to other services. Work gets ahead of me, a bunch of things get ahead of me, and I don't always do a very good job of making sure that I'm taking care of this. So with that in mind, I definitely know I need to get better at that. As far as things that'll be happening with the stream, regrettably, I cannot be live on Friday. And I was thinking about ways to do a makeup stream for that, but the fact of the matter is I don't have any time to do that. I'm going to be occupied from Friday to Sunday. I don't think it's very viable for me to sort of do some extra stuff tomorrow because I'm already going to be trying to catch up on things that I've been putting off for streaming. So, full admission, I realize that everybody's got kind of 1 month subs that are slowly expiring and not necessarily everybody's going to want to renew them. I do this as a hobby, so if life gets in the way, that will definitely take priority. But I believe that is everything I had to talk about. So let's jump into the Red Strings Club. And I think when I quit the game, it said that the last quick save was about 10 minutes before. So I probably get to redo a little bit of story stuff. Best thing to do really is just speak up and chat if you have any questions about the plot, and I will do my best to accommodate. Did you like my present? You're completely crazy, Akara. Oh. In a good way, I mean. You managed to surprise me, that's for sure. I'm glad. What will you... Oh, Ghost is coming. How do you say always evade your surveillance until he's at the very doorstep? By the way, one thing so I think the one challenge here is with the music, it's hard to tell if this is, I mean, I believe it's Fingerspit. The musician for Deconstruct Team has really good sounding music, and it's not completely inappropriate for, for a character like this. But with the spelling of Ghost, I'm wondering if this is also the electronic musician. And there's enough. I mean, obviously the purposes are different when it comes to a video game soundtrack, but I'm wondering if this is a deliberate reference to the musician. Anyways, I've got your stuff. You got your hands on Red Secret and Blue Whisper in less than an hour? I've been looking for them for years now. Think of me more as a wish granter than a smuggler. How do you do it? Wishing is a powerful form of summoning. A strong-willed character such as yourself really makes my job easy. Okay. Say, do you want to try your new ingredients on me? Of course, let's fix you a drink. Alright, Newman, listen up. Two of my favorite ingredients are back in stock. The Red Secret and Blue Whisper. These two spirits will allow us to fine-tune into new emotions. Have you noticed the little triangles on the soul nodes? Well, they aren't just for show. These red and blue liquors can change the orientation of the arrow on the soul disc. So from now on, you'll have to mind that in addition to the disc position. Luckily, the shaker will help us get many effects into a single glass. Let's do this, Newman. So one thing I like about this is it's a little built-in tutorial. I mean, I'll admit, the drink mixing is just fun. I'm going to try something a little different this time. I'm actually going to see if I can work out the rotation without it being directly on top. I think that's all right. And we'll go to the left. I think I went a little too far, but we can probably make it work. And down. Oops. Now, I'm definitely going to need to adjust. I might have to pour some out now that I think of it, but we'll see what we can get away with. Whoa. It's a hard target. Oh yeah, I really made a mess of this. I think I might just have to dump it out and start over again. Oh, never mind. Man, this is one hell of a drink. Soul-sinking cocktails would be a hit with my friends. You should join me someday in the underworld for a great party. Thank you. I'm afraid I can't leave the Red Strings Club, though. Oh, don't worry. Everybody dies eventually, Donovan. What? A client is approaching the club. Someone interesting, I guess. Dr. Edgar Coldstream, 37, macropsychologist. Also my father. What? What do you mean, your father? He's the director of Project Akara. Okay, let's see how this works out. I see you got yourself into a fine mess. I better vanish. Good luck. Welcome to the Red Strings Club. So this is the infamous Red Strings joint, huh? Hey, MC. Well, I like this idea of macro psychology. I can't remember what the name was, but in the Asimov Foundation books, there was this idea of sort of a scientific study of like, I remember a friend of mine in my cost-benefit analysis class got into economics because of Foundation, and I completely understood what she meant when I read Foundation. Why can I not remember? It's like such a famous... Okay, this is gonna bother me, so... Hello, the Eyes of Sin. It's good to see you. It's Harry Seldon. Oh, it's Psychohistory. That's it. But yeah, so I kind of imagine macro psychology to be something like that, like Psychohistory. How you doing tonight, MC and Eyes of Sin? Oh, I've just lost my chat, so there we go. My name's Edgar. Our mutual friend Larissa texted me telling me to come here. I just happened to be in the neighborhood, so I figured I'd drop by before joining her for some fun. She spoke highly of your cocktails, man. She's my #1 patron. My name is Donovan. Pleased to meet you. Cool. Okay, first things first. Is that an Akara android you're wasting as a greeting machine? I didn't know they'd introduced them to the public already. Not exactly. But you could consider this some sort of closed beta. Cool. Do you mind if we have them join in the conversation? I don't know if that's a good... Yes, father. I programmed all of them to address me as father. I guess I'm compensating for my lost semen dispenser. Sure. You've had many beautiful children. Congratulations. Thanks, dude. How's Akara been doing so far? Are you happy with their performance? Well, their initiative is pretty unsettling. What do you mean? The word psychopath may be a bit strong here, but you know that kind of character in movies who misinterprets everyone's desires and goes a notch too far to please them? That kind of unsettling. Yeah, the Eyes of Sin. This is the one thing I really like about the Red Strings Club is that all of the characters that you run into are like... I think the thing that I like the most about them are that you have sort of expectations. Let's be honest here. You have cliches in mind when you hear it, right? The person who develops a robot is supposed to look a certain way. The lusty head of marketing is supposed to look a certain way. And the characters don't. And I think one of the things that I love the most about this is every time, like I've sort of recognized it. It's not this really, it's not sort of this sort of performative. It's like, oh, I'm being so different. But there's always just that moment that I reflect on. Is like, well, why not have that person be like that? They definitely resemble the kinds of coworkers that, that I have. I mean, I look like an economist. There's nothing surprising about my appearance whatsoever. But, when I consider some of the professors that I've worked under, or when I consider some of the people who I interact with in different roles, there really is no generic look for a programmer or for a mathematician or anything like that. And this game does a really nice job of creating these very believable and very interesting characters who have a distinct personality, but don't, it's not, like I said, it never really draws your attention to the fact that they are different than the cliche, and yet they I've always had just that moment of reflection. It's like, well, why did I assume that, you know, this character introduced a certain way would look like it? It's something I really like. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to prove useful to you, Donovan. I'll try to make you feel less uncomfortable in the future. Yeah, Donovan, don't be so hard on Akara. They can learn, I guarantee you that. With enough exposure, they'll adapt to become your ideal partner. It's just, they may be a bit stiff because of that lame education process supercontinents put them through at the clinics. Education? As in schooling them? No, as in teaching them the Corp's philosophy. It's all the idea of the new CEO. Quite ironic if you think about how she was trained. Would you mind telling me more about the new CEO? That's a delicate issue. I'd rather talk about my stuff. Sure, what's your stuff? The mirror neuron algorithm, baby. I spent ages trapped in the lab giving shape to it, and now I can't wait for people to know its wonders. I've been imagining this dialogue as Toby Hooper, but I don't know. I feel like I'd be caricaturing him if I did it that way. Sounds exciting. Oh, I forgot to read that dialogue. You bet. Although I gotta say, I'm a bit disappointed you haven't offered me a drink yet. Of course. How rude of me. Let me put something together for you. But wait. No tequila, please. My body doesn't really deal well with it. That complicates things a bit, but gotcha. So tequila's been eliminated, but tequila takes us to the right, so there's nothing really lost there. So fraud and vanity. I think in this case, we want him to talk about the algorithm, right? So Rambler, thank you very much for that host again, and everybody from Rambler's channel, thank you for stopping by. I am System Chalk. Rambler is a much better and a much bigger streamer than I am, but he is nice enough to take some mouthy bastard he met in a Vancouver bar, and I think I'm going to need to mix these, but I'm almost certainly going to, actually, but let's see how far we can get with yeah. Oops. I blew it. Anyways, he's definitely been very kind in taking some mouthy guy he met in a Vancouver bar and making sure I get a little bit of attention on Twitch. So for those of you, it's also worth saying, like, obviously I know you guys watch him for a lot of his strategy stuff, as do I. So I always appreciate it when you guys hang out. I want to double check. Yeah, Vanity. I always appreciate when you guys hang out. Hey, not real Kate. Katie, sorry. This is the Blurry Pixel the game. Wow, this is the Red Strings Club. I think you would enjoy this very much. It's by Deconstruct Team, which is a company who made a game called Gods Will Be Watching. It's a very difficult but very rewarding adventure game. It's almost like 6 little, I won't call them short stories, but sort of 6 little scenarios that tell this really interesting story. It's basically about, it's kind of like interstellar espionage, but that's not really what the game is about. It's got some very interesting sort of philosophical ideas and I don't know, it's I don't want to go so far as to say it's a literary game, and I think that's just because that has certain connotations, which I don't think always... I don't think they always match the intended audience well with the... Like, it sort of implies when you say something's a literary game that it's kind of like only a bunch of Ivory Tower types are really going to enjoy it. But this game seems to have kind of caught on and captured the imagination. But this game is it's a cyberpunk. You do play a bartender, but it's just a, you know what, it's a fun ride. That's what I'm going to put it down to. I definitely recommend watch, and I think you'll see what it's about and why I think you'll enjoy it. By the way, guys, Not Real Katie is a streamer herself. I will say streams a little infrequently, but I will also say the first thing I ever watched her play was Oxenfree, so that suggests to me that if you guys like this game, you should probably be watching her stream when she goes online. So for those of you who haven't seen this game before, the basic idea here, and one of my favorite things about the game, it begins with an invocation to the muses. So in theory, I'm not even necessarily playing Donovan the bartender so much as I'm playing the muse that creates these drinks. You're mixing cocktails to achieve certain sort of emotional states, and you will use those emotional states to interview somebody and gain some information. So, for instance, here are some facts and intel that we need to get. The supercontinent developed social psyche welfare. They plan to propagate it with the mirror neuron algorithm. John Sefthis is supercontinent's chief operations officer. Adrian Ferguson is supercontinent's chief financial officer. Diana Myers is director of the social psyche warfare. Supercontinent Limited has been more aggressive as of late. Jack B. Gaynor isn't supercontinent's CEO anymore, ? We know that for sure. Diana Myers is afraid that Supercontinent may kill her. COO Joanna Cephas is missing. SPW is backed by the government. Supercontinent's new CEO is called Radica. Larissa Robillard is the marketing director with Social Psyche Welfare. COO John Cephas is on the verge of suicide. Dr. Edgar Coldstream, the gentleman that we're talking to, is the director of the Akara project, and Radica received special education from an early age. So we're currently talking about the mirror neuron algorithm, which will be his job. And so my reasoning here is I want to appeal to his vanity to get information about that. So we've got this roughly in the right quadrant, but we need to reduce the circle size. So we'll add an ice cube, and we'll add another ice cube. Damn it! All right, let's take it a little bit to the left. Yep, I blew that. I guess we need to get the arrow a little bit more precise. Nailed it. All right, and now we serve it. Oh, shut up. How's a human being able to craft something this flawless? I may have found my equal, but applied to bartending. I mean, I'm probably the #1 scientist alive, probably in all history in due time. But you, my friend... Oops. Oh, that's a shame that that's covered up. You are the best bartender this universe's chaos has ever given birth to. My most sincere congratulations, you talented son of a bitch. We should take a picture together for the annals. Oh, dude. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, I'm back. What shall my privileged intellect help you with? Alright, so I'm dying to know more about the M&A. Any thoughts about Supercontinent's new direction, and any plans for Akara besides pottery? I'm a little reluctant to give this one because it... It also reveals that we know more about her than intended. Definitely appealing to his vanity will spill the beans on M&A. I'm just a little curious about fraud, because fraud doesn't necessarily apply to either of these things too, but we'll see what we get out of the... So one of the ways that I approach this is I try and get the information that I So the idea here is that I have an idea, I have a strategy in play, and the more certain I am about a particular outcome, I'm going to get the information for that, and then I'm going to use that to decide whether I serve another drink or whether I try and use that emotion to get other information. So right now I have a pretty strong prior that vanity is going to get me what I need from dying to know more about the M&A. I'm dying to know more about the M&A. I bet you are. Are you ready? Oh god, I'm so hyped! First of all, our assistant here will fill us in on the basic information. The mirror neuron algorithm is the first program to live and reproduce in human beings. Using implant wearers as transmitters, the M&A can broadcast subconscious conditionals to implant-free subjects. This is performed via micro-expressions and subtle body language. Given enough exposure, an implant-free subject will adopt these patterns, becoming a new host to the program. Oh my god, that sounds terrific. Why didn't you tell me that you've known this all along, Akara? Sorry, guys. Let me just take a second here. I'm a little parched. Hopefully the voices will be a bit better after. Incidentally, one of the nice things about being in Ottawa this time of year is I buy a hot coffee for my walk home, and then by the time I get indoors, I have a nice iced coffee to enjoy. Okay. Why don't you tell me this if you've known all along, Akara? I don't blame him. These cuties come with pretty strict confidentiality protocols. Only a few of us at Supercontinent can override them. So what did you think? Okay, so this is definitely not something you say to a vain person. We want to stop this, or at least I want to stop this. So as much as I would love to know what to broadcast, I want to know how it works. Is this even possible? I kind of get how you could control implant wearers, but I don't see myself falling for that micro-expressions bunk. That's where the magic of mirror neurons comes into play. Oh, thank you, Not Real Katie. So if you, I think on YouTube there's some of my Shadowrun Dragonfall playthroughs. I definitely went balls to the wall on some of those voices. One of the challenges that I have trying to voice act for any of this, we were talking about this actually just before you came in. A lot of these characters don't play to stereotypes. So this guy is... It's one of these wonderful things. It's like there's almost what's known as like the Mr. Wu part, and it's like in the first half of the play, everybody's talking about Mr. Wu, and Mr. Wu is coming. They're gonna do this and do that, and then finally somebody says Mr. Wu is here, and the actor playing Mr. Wu gets on the stage, and the curtain comes down, and that's the end of Act 1, and everybody runs out into the lobby during intermission and says, what a great actor playing Mr. Wu. So in this case, there's something that's built about this character. So this guy was introduced as sort of the chief scientist and the one responsible for the robot that is acting as a greeter in this bar. But clearly he doesn't look like the kind of person who you would associate with the head of a robotics program. And so I think you get a little bit of an idea of the character once they speak, and it's great because of course this game is intended to be played by somebody sort of on their own, enjoying the game, experiencing it, and your inner voice probably isn't necessarily going to assign a particular voice. So one of the things that I want to try and do is avoid stereotype. And I tend to get a little bit of an idea in terms of voices as I'm doing the dialogue. But I'm sometimes reluctant to just throw in a voice which winds up to just be not really appropriate halfway through. Although I will say I relate a lot to the bartender character Donovan, so I've usually just let my normal voice come through on them. Anyways, that's where the magic mirror of neurons comes into play. Don't want to bore you with the scientific stuff, so I'll put it in layman's terms. These mirror neuron things fire when an animal acts, but also when an animal observes action. And humans' mirror neurons are AAA shit. So basically, May I recommend that you tell Donovan about the experiment with primates? Ah, good idea. Thank you. This illustrates it pretty well. If you eat a candy bar in front of a monkey, the monkey will start salivating due to these mirror babies. If you do it in front of another human, the effect is the same. But here comes the twist. If you act as if you're eating candy, just mimicking, no candy involved in the process, the monkey won't salivate, but the human still will. Monkeys are immune to drama, but our mirror neurons trigger even in response to simulated actions. The same hunger, happiness, sadness, rage, etc. can be transmitted through mirror neurons. Mirror neurons play a critical role in empathy, after all. So basically, unless you're some underdeveloped primate, you'll be susceptible to the MNA. Very cool, huh? Oh man, see, I said I wanted to give him a Toby Hooper voice, and the one thing I always remember about Toby Hooper is he would like almost punctuate sentences with like, way cool, man, way cool. Yay. Want to know more? What do you plan to broadcast? Social psyche welfare. And that's it? Dude, this shit isn't some toy. It's been developed for a good purpose. But just like nuclear energy, it would be catastrophic in the wrong hands. And what keeps the wrong hands from getting on the MNA? First of all, it's pretty tightly guarded in supercontinent servers. But even if a hacker got their hands on it, it's not like you can code for the MNA with JavaScript precisely. Microexpressions are quite inaccessible for us humans to code. There are terabytes of data involved in handling, say, the frown. How did you do it then? You need an incredibly powerful AI to translate the logic patterns to the MNA. Basically, in the current day, Akira is the only one who can pull that off. And what if someone snatches an Akira unit along with the MNA? Well, in that case, they'd still need to hijack the whole implant network to run the program. That's like hacking the whole internet, dude. Okay, first thing, you should not be telling some bartender you just met every step needed to get a hold of the MNA. Secondly, if I got the MNA and Akira to serve my mischief, no need to hack the internet. I'd only need to put a gun to the right head to broadcast it through the supercontinent's implant network. Whoa, shit, you're right. I guess our failsafe here is Akira then. You'd never betray us, right? Define us. Okay, you and me will review some protocols when we're back at the lab. Good grief. I don't have the option to change emotional states. So in this case, I'm going to say, doesn't this sound super villainous to you? Oh, sorry, forgive my boldness, but doesn't this sound super villainous to you? What? Au contraire. It's like Savior of Mankind stuff. Edgar, let's be frank here. You're pushing a mind control device out there. The attitude of knowing what's best for humanity just makes it more delusional. Only thing left for you is to laugh maniacally in your lab. Come on, don't tell me you already did that. Dude, I just love my job. There's still time for redemption. Do you really think I'm evil? Oh, that's a good play to vanity, actually. I think you're adorable, but MNA isn't. And luckily for you, there aren't going to be many people left to hate if you succeed, if your brainwashing program succeeds. But whoever is left, myself included, are going to try to bring you and the MNA down at any cost. How dare you? I don't deserve that. Why don't you just release the existence of MNA to the public and see what the future victims think of it? If I did that, my head would be on a spike in a matter of hours. Yeah, poor Edgar. Just another victim of the corporate game. Listen, dude, I don't like where you're taking this. You don't know shit about SPW and the MNA, how SPW and the MNA will play together. But it definitely isn't brainwashing. You'll learn soon enough, though. Okay, I've heard enough. I'm sorry you're getting all these bad vibes from the MNA. I get how your lack of information would get you all worked up, but I promise I'll put your mind at ease before I leave. Let's clear the mood and move on to another subject for now. I think I will... I'm going to make a play again. It's a private creation of his, so I think I'm going to appeal to Vanity for details on his project, because there's the tendency for people to over-reveal on things that they're proud of. I think Supercontinent, though, he is likely going to... it's going to be a little bit more about himself, so in this case I think I'll try Fraud on the new direction. Also, I'm just going to do a quick search here. Akara. Akara, fried bean fritters. Hey, Captain Zergy. So unless it's a Diablo character that it's referencing, I'll say Akara is my reading of this. Any plans for Akara besides pottery? Pottery? That's a ridiculously tiny fraction of Akara's potential. Akara could take on any job, from flipping burgers to directing traffic. Akara could be your fucking dentist. You could kill a man and Akara would conduct the investigation, perform the autopsy, judge you in trial, and then officiate the victim's funeral. Okay, I get it. Akara could act as a loving mother of a dozen orphans. Akara could teach every subject in university. They could even run for fucking president and win. Well, that isn't that big of an accomplishment anymore. Akara could be the president of the world. President of the world, you're crazy. Wait and see. They just need to finally get out there. You remember what I told you about the M&A, don't you? Well, this is why Akara is ideal to handle it. And I'd be pleased to enlighten you about it. How do Akara and the M&A fit together? Okay, moment of truth. How do Akara and the M&A fit together? Okay, first of all, I want to defend my colleague Diana's work. I feel like you're pretty obstinate about seeing SPW as brainwashing. Spare me, she already explained how it's not brainwashing, but accessing our better selves. And I still don't buy it. Tough crowd, huh? What if I told you that with the M&A regulating SPW, you won't lose sadness or rage? I'm starting to get sick of these acronyms. This sweet duo's objective is to create a wonderful, super-functional world. We can fine-tune the program to control only the most extreme effects of those states. The M&A will allow sadness, but not depression. It'll allow you to be angry, but it won't let you get consumed by wrath. It'll allow you to dwell in pleasure, but it won't permit utter hedonism. I guess hedonism. How am I going to get you fools to understand that altering someone's behavior is brainwashing? It's not that extreme. Why are you so against it? Why do you think you have the right to play God? Well, that's simple. Because I can. Shouldn't we all be trying to change society for the better? You pull your strings from this fancy club. I just happen to be a super scientist backed by a powerful corporation. Suck it up. Seriously? Yeah, man. Deal with it. This will end human evolution. That's where you're wrong the most. The M&A is specifically designed to boost human progress. Shortening the joy-depression cycles will make you not only more productive, but more creative. Being consumed by hate or envy won't get your life or society moving. Haven't you ever found yourself wishing you could rid yourself of whatever nasty business is ruining your peace of mind? Forgive me for sounding like a TV salesman, but those days are over. Just let people be depressed. I'm not talking about not letting you have a bad week. You can be as gloomy as you want. But before you fall into clinical depression, the M&A will lift you up. They'll prevent you from committing murder or suicide. There are uncountable psychotherapists in the world already fighting that. What's wrong about simply eradicating it from society? Can we skip to where you tell me about Akara? Sorry, Akara? You're way more obstinate than any of your colleagues. Oh, sorry, you're way more obstinate than any of your colleagues. So we'd better not waste any more of either of our time. So neither of us will change their minds, but I'm the obstinate one, huh? Whatever. Get yourself ready for the good part. We do agree that leaving control of the M&A to a corporation or individual would be unethical, right? Yes! We're in luck then. We have a wonderful and ever-caring AI which was designed with people's happiness in mind. Oh no. Oh yeah. You gotta agree with me on this one. You've met Akara. If there's anyone with enough brain power to access every person's case individually, it's them. Akara can study your habits, hobbies, desires, prejudices, and keep you within your optimal emotional range. I need you to leave now. What? Get out of my bar. Playtime is over. Hey, hon. Oh, you finally made up your mind? Yeah, I'm all for going at them with all we got. Listen, I'm in the middle of a delicate situation here. Good news is that I found COO Joanna Cephas. Bad news is she's about to jump off the North Bridge. I'll see what I can do. And hey, got some juicy intel on their CEO, just like you asked. I'll fill you in on the details when I'm back at the club. Okay, I gotta leave you now. Bye. Quite the view, eh? You picked a beautiful place to end your life. All those little blue and yellow squares full of people who don't care about each other. And a bunch of fools like us who won't stop fighting over the right to dictate the way they live. I wish it would all disappear into thin air. I need to get closer to keep her from jumping. Approaching her will increase the tension, so I should probably talk her down before moving in. Gotta pay attention to her body language. Oh, this is neat. This is exactly like the opening sequence of Gods Will Be Watching. Problem is it took me quite a few tries on Gods Will Be Watching before I got it. If she's too anxious, putting some distance between us will definitely help. Fine. Let's put some soul into this. Do you mind me asking why you're deciding to end it all? I've lost the way. I let everyone I care about lose their way too. Supercontinent set out to change the world. Money wasn't the reward, but the means to an end. Now the objective's been twisted so many times, I can't remember when it was I stopped caring. So I'm going to guess saying this is just going to put her on edge. Like, it's not like she hasn't thought about this. I'm going to assume that there's a sense of futility driving this, so I have a feeling that'll just raise her tension. Your life could use a new direction then. It's natural for objectives to change. They're human constructs. And humans won't stop changing. If your vision doesn't align with your company's anymore, set yourself free. I don't see the tragedy in that. It's the other way that'd be depressing, or to never mutate. Hey, Outworld, how you doing? Guys, Outworld is another streamer. As you can see from that little check mark, he's a VIP, verified streamer. Recently rebranded. Some of you will remember him as Cap Howdy, but I think he decided there were too many Cap Howdys in the world. And he is primarily a Mortal Kombat streamer, but certainly not the only, that's not the only thing he plays. I had a wonderful time watching him play XCOM just shortly after I finished it. Definitely a very strong recommendation. He's an Australian caster, despite the fact it's actually very noteworthy whenever he stops by, because between our timings, things really don't work out that well between us, and he has been much better at being able to stop by my little corner of Twitch than I his. So if that doesn't tell you about the kind of character behind this man, he's a very entertaining caster, somebody who... I've never played a Mortal Kombat game. He is an absolute master at it. I believe a world record holder in some cases. Thank you so much for that, Host Outworld, and welcome to the viewers from there. Wonderful guy, definitely somebody who's worth checking out. And this game's really interesting, Outworld. If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely recommend it. But incidentally, guys, !game. This game is currently 15% off, so if you buy it through GOG, through my affiliate link, there's a little bit that comes towards me. Of course, I understand some of you may have a preference for Steam or the Humble Bundle. Obviously, buy it where you want, but definitely consider buying it. It's, you know, it's on sale. It's a good game, and I know the developer could definitely use the support. I mean, these things don't drop out of midair. But of course, if you want to evaluate based on the experience of watching the game, I am happy to provide you some more content. Also, I don't have a mod right now, so let me... There we go. And Not Real Katie was here a little while ago. Oh, I'm doing this too fast. Oh, yeah, it's wonderful. And actually, did you ever play Gods Will Be Watching? Because it's a very similar art style. Eyes of Sin, for those of you who are not aware of this, Eyes of Sin is responsible for the 3 emotes that you will send. Oh, okay. Then, yes, Gods Will Be Watching is very similar. If you liked adventure games and don't mind difficulty, I give a strong recommendation for Gods Will Be Watching. But if you're not keen on adventure games, if you want a little more content, then I would actually suggest that the Red Strings Club is the better gateway drug to the Deconstruct Team catalog. Anyways, sorry. Back to the game. Hey, Melee Mage, how you doing, my friend? A new direction. Nice. Almost stable now. I think that's the game telling me that I need to do a little more dialogue before raising the tension, so... Northbridge has always been good for getting some perspective. Inside that concrete maze, it's easy to lose yourself in data streams and notifications. I can barely see where we're putting our feet anymore. Hell, I've dismissed it 2 chats from my brain drive since we started talking. But then being here, looking at that rock floating in the ocean, just start walking the other way and leave the city behind us, huh? It isn't that easy. You bet. It's too much of ourselves cemented to the foundations of those skyscrapers. But think about it. What would you lose? Money? Power? Responsibility? Identity? The weight of the fate of civilization? Yeah, that too. Good, she looks stable. I should move closer. Let's move in. Losing her a little now. What's your name? I'm Brandeis. Why are you doing this? I'm a hero. Come on. I'm not kidding. Don't get me wrong, I'm a hero for selfish motives. I just love to feel like I'm saving the world or something. To be cool, to smoke a cigarette and look out at the city thinking, just you wait, assholes. I'm gonna make it right for everyone. Never miss an opportunity to recreate my fantasy. So don't spoil this beautiful scene for me, okay? You're insane, but you sure make it sound easy to be a hero. Good, she looks stable. I should move closer. Let's move in. Losing her a little now. Listen, are you with Proxima? I'm not part of their organization, but we collaborate quite often. I just think that I doomed this city, right? The city was doomed long ago. If not supercontinent, it would have been any of the many corps we rebel against. We few can't keep in check. And if not them, it had been the very citizens of Earth who don't give a fuck about anything beyond their favorite TV show and eating the planet away. You could say that in some way we're all lobotomized a long time ago. Basement hacktivism and confabulating with stakeholders are just different ways of killing time before the end. That's bleak. China's close to her limit. Yeah, I picked the wrong option there. Better back off. Nice, almost stable now. I'd say about halfway through Outworld. I don't know how long the the game is. I can give you an idea of the things that I've done. As you can see, there's multiple decisions. So I said Brandeis a Glass of Pride. I installed the Hippie Compassion Magnifier in Ferguson. I installed the Hippie Compassion Magnifier in this woman. Diana doubted herself on the ethics of SPW, and I got information about SPW. I told Akara that SPW was... You know what? This is probably not going to make a lot of sense. Yeah, it's certainly Outworld. So for any of you guys who haven't played... As you can see, there's... Oh, actually, this is a nice little graph. It looks like we've got quite a bit of story ahead of us. But yeah, I totally get it if you want to save the story for yourself. I know, especially as a streamer, Outworld. What was the other one you mentioned? A Gods Will Be Watching. Wonderful game. I think Eyes of Sin can also give you an idea about it. I will just caution you, it is a difficult game, but as long as you're willing to sort of sit through it. The big thing is that if you just breeze through Gods Will Be Watching, then like there's not a whole lot there, and the difficulty feeds into the story. Anyways. Yeah, exactly, Outworld. Both sides of the railing scare me. One is the utter end, but the other one is even more terrifying. Stay on the railing, then. That was a metaphor. I know. Stay on the railing. Life's not binary, Joanna. When you set foot on the ground, you don't need to go back to face some sort of redemption ordeal. Become a revolutionary. Fuck all this corporate mess. There's a way less responsibility on our side. Nothing to build, just things to undo. Choose your own cause from among the myriad of fucked up schemes running right now in this city. That sounds like some sort of redemption ordeal. Only if you feel like it, of course. Damn it. So I just erased all my progress. But that's good because I would have, she would have gone over the edge if I did the dialogue. I heard about a girl who died at our clinics. I woke up uneasy that morning already, but hearing of her demise is what made me flip. Did you know her? How you doing, Johnny Big Time? It's great to see you again. Yes, her name was Ariadne. She's a really good friend of mine. God, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Ariadne died doing what she loves. Not supercontinent, we just pick another threat. It's in our blood. Some people can't stop fighting. I'd rather die in a heist than on a couch. What a way to burn through life, says the one standing on the North Bridge's railing. Good, she looks stable. I should move closer. Let's move in. Losing her a little now. How does someone end up being COO? By the way, guys, Johnny Big Time is a wonderful caster. Somebody who's always got something to say. The only time I've ever seen him legitimately pissed off was actually with a game that I recommended, Wolfenstein: The New Order. He definitely, so one of the things I actually like a lot about Johnny Big Time, he's very good at the games that he plays, in addition to being hilarious. But I think one of the things that I really like is that he is completely able to disentangle any emotional investment he has in a game, and also be able to still recognize its quality. By the way, did you get to see the alternate timeline videos, Johnny? Anyways, he plays a lot of Fortnite lately. He's one of the few people who cast that game that I really enjoy watching. And again, it's purely personality driven. He could honestly play any game, and I think he would do a fantastic job of it. He's one of my highest recommendations in terms of a Twitch streamer. And but yeah, he's just an absolutely outstanding guy, and he's somebody who, out of everybody I know, I think between him and Jesse Quill, there are two people who it's really just a matter of time. If they want to, we'll be seeing them as partners in the future, assuming that they stop the treadmill and let other people into it. Anyways, how does someone end up being COO? I mean, is it what you wanted to be when you were a kid? Not at all. I wanted to be a soldier. Really? I can't picture someone as compassionate as you killing people on the battlefield. Well, I wanted to be a secret agent, saving the world in stealthy, non-lethal ways. But when I came to know what actual armies were about, well, I decided to take the fight to an office. Before joining Supercontinent, I ran my own humanitarian aid company. That's cool. What changed? What do you mean? Why did you join the corporate game? Because Supercontinent is different. What we've become today is just a corrupted version of our most sincere desire to heal society. But I guess what I'm most proud of, I'm proud of most of the things we did for this city. Yeah, you almost had me fooled when you fully dismantled the corrupt city police. I'm so sorry. How have I been this blind? I feel like an idiot for buying into this SPW scam. I wish you could stop it all. We will. I promise. Good. She looks stable. I should move closer. It's actually kind of cool. I don't think we had a dialogue option there, so that was basically just a gimme in terms of being able to get closer. Let's move in. Losing her a little now. Brandeis. I think I'm in love with you. Didn't see that one coming. I think I'm all messed up inside. Looking at the waves, the rippling reflection of the city. I see myself as a tiny shadow on the bridge's mirrored image. I don't know who I am anymore. It doesn't make sense anymore, life. But then my chest is burning. I can't deny this feeling. And if I'm going to die, why should I deprive myself of this last confession of love? I love you, Brandeis. Come on, you don't even know who I am. I feel like you're the first human I've had an honest talk with since I was a kid. What a lame existence. I guess I should shut up already and jump, huh? No, come with me. Do you love me too? Not in a romantic way. But hell, why not? I love you, Joanna. And I know a lot of people who can have honest conversation with, who you can have an honest conversation with every day. We're a loving family, the revolutionary lot. Why don't you give your life to us instead of the ocean? I feel like we can be better hosts than those rocking neon waves. Take me with you. Woo! I'll admit, my palms were getting a little sweaty there. Brandeis is coming back. He's bringing Joanna with him. He managed to get her on our side? Huh. That's our Brandeis. Donovan? Hmm? May I ask you why you threw Edgar out of the club? I didn't expect you to lose your cool like that. I'd say Dr. Coldstream is a valuable asset to your plans. I'm surprised you decided to kick him out instead of digging for more information. It was impressional of me, huh? I guess I picked that up from Brandeis. Sometimes the right choice isn't the best choice. I may have made our lives harder, but heck if I didn't make myself happier. No regrets. I felt your anxiety levels rising at an unprecedented rate, so I determined that you made Edgar leave out of self-defense. But it's interesting to know how you've justified that to yourself. There's no playing it cool with you, huh? What is it about the mirror neuron algorithm that makes you so uneasy? If the M&A gets out, humanity is doomed. Society is about to become an operating system on which corporations will run whatever programs they please. They have enough control with the media and technology already. What else do they want? What else is there to take from us, huh? I don't mean to discourage you, but the chances of you stopping all this are very low. But, so, in case I ever get to be in charge of the M&A, would you mind answering some questions about where to draw the line tuning social psyche welfare? Hey, that's not a bad idea. Some sort of backup to maintain a sliver of hope for a revolution in case we fail. Let's talk about the primary intent of SPW then. How should I regulate depression and anxiety? Oh, this is really interesting. So, what's being set up here is the question. So I've come on pretty strong in terms of SPW being bad, right? And the idea of whether or not there are degrees of control. I think this is a game that I'm really looking forward to seeing Jess play, because she and I have had conversations like this specifically after her Observer playthrough. And I know this is something that she's really interested in. But I think, so one of the big things for me is, it would seem to me that if the principle stand is that, look, we're not an operating system, or we are not a series of, just kind of, I don't know, like it's not some kind of psychological or biochemical determinism. I think one of the big ideas here for me is the question of choice, right? So the dilemma that comes up is, okay, right now, if you are depressed, there are things that you can do. You will make a choice to take a drug. You will make a choice to go see counseling or a psychologist or something like that. Now, the problem is you can make the argument of saying, but there are people who are not in their right mind. They are not equipped to be able to make this decision on their own. Hence, we need to improve things for them. And so the question here is that, if I want to make this about choice, then why is it that a month is the limit? Like, is it like you get a month to sort stuff out for yourself, and if you don't, then you are going to, you're going to get just the reboot. In this case, I would suggest that there isn't a principle at stake here, right? Like, why is it a month? Why not a week? Why not a day? Why not a year? But then there's the really callous choice, which is to say that depression and anxiety should not be regulated. That even in the worst case scenario, that you are in the depths of depression, that your depression is to a point where you're Joanna, right? And this is such an interesting choice, right? We made a decision not to let, now of course you can say I'm role-playing as Brandeis, who might have a different ethical set, but I'm making decisions largely as myself here. Why is it that I felt, am I just this big laissez-faire kind of guy to say, all right, you know what? People need to figure things out on their own, that ultimately it was Joanna's decision as to whether or not she wanted to take her life. And, what business did I have to intervene and convince her that there was a better way? Maybe would I have been willing to lie to her and say, I love you in a romantic way? That guy at the bar, he's just my side dude. We can have a happy life together. You can, would that noble lie have been acceptable? And could I have justified it as like, when she's thinking straight, she will thank me for not letting her terminate her life. Now, how is that different from implementing some kind of science fiction technology, which says that through the subtle manipulations of people's body language who have things inside them, I am going to say that even if you are depressed or even if you are anxious, you are going to be fixed. So, the biggest problem is that I already know this is going to be like terrible for philosophy. I already have a decision that I have on this, which is that I don't want to regulate it. And my idea is this, that I would feel better knowing that people have made a choice, or it is somebody's accomplishment. Oh, here we go. Eyes of Sin is justifying my decision for me. As somebody who's been at the extremes of depression and anxiety, as someone who has had the choice taken away from you in regards to choice of medication, SPW bothers you to the very core of your being. As much as you wish you could rid yourself of depression and anxiety, I want the choice to be yours and to work through it in your way. And having a choice about you, your thoughts, your processes taken from you is worse than death, in your opinion. So that's my viewing, which is that by putting in a default, it means that essentially overcoming ceases to be your accomplishment. That you're put within parameters, and this is not a romanticized idea, right? It is not to say that somebody who powers through depression on their own is going to be better for it. They might just simply slouch on to the next horrible thing that life has for them. It is a life of total misery, and and that in the end, the best that we can really hope for them is that we will limit the discomfort that they have to a month in those intervals. But I'm really bothered by the idea of basically turning it into a default, that basically you have a month to overcome things on your own and you're done. And I think it's just because in the end I have no idea where to I have no idea what's so special about a month. So don't regulate it. Let us be depressed. Misery is part of being human. Let us need each other. Let us beg for help. Should I let people commit suicide? Man. So this is actually an easier one for me because I don't think suicide is the worst thing in the world. I think there is an argument to preventing... I think there is an argument for preventing suicide. Canada's recently just approved an physician-assisted dying bill, and this had a lot of controversy. But... Oh, Johnny Big Time. So it's a science fiction thing. Basically, this is a device that's going to, for all intents and purposes, say it's like mind control. So in this world, there is a device through which this will happen. The actual mechanics will probably be a little complicated for me to hold on, but I'm sure somebody in chat might do a better job of explaining the mechanics while I move forward with the plot. So this is the funny thing, like for me, I think and historically too, not every society has, not exactly Captain Zergy, because that would imply that the people without implants would not be affected, but this is a technology that will affect people without implants. Yeah, similar idea, Isaacson. So the choice thing for me, but again, like, is our view on suicide as it being always bad is a fairly modern idea. There are other societies that have been able to incorporate that as a choice. And again, I think there can be a restriction. I mean, again, I didn't have a problem with talking Joanna down because I don't feel that words are like, I'm not a sophist. I don't think words are so convincing that it's the same as dragging somebody away. I think you can influence someone, but you can't control them. So, no, prevent people from committing suicide. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Hopefully it did not save that choice. That's what I get for talking too much. Good point, Isaacson. I really should have. I really should have let that opening music. Run by. Maybe I should be reading this. True, but then Johnny Big Time, wouldn't that be? So I don't think. I think there's a difference between. So I don't think suicide bombers do it out of depression. Surely there is a point where you say, should we be able to permit murder? Sure. I mean, I will just say the subset of suicide bombings out of all suicides is a very small sliver, and I'm not entirely sure that you have it. Yeah. I'm not sure if the death toll from suicide. I'm not sure if the death toll from all suicide bombings is millions. Period. But I'm still going to allow a world of suicide bombing. Now, if it asks me about murder, I'm gonna have a tough time with that one. Yes, let people commit suicide. Yes, as much as it can hurt, people should have the right to do what they want with their lives, even end them. Now about violence. Ah, god damn it, deconstructing. You're gonna push me on the hard ones. Now about violence. Should I allow rape to occur? Jesus Christ. I know what my gut reaction is, and I want to come back to I'm just trying to work out in my head. I'd rather not think aloud on this one. Um, so I know there's the usual opinion here that people would have, um, which is, you should be allowed to do what you want so long um, as long as it doesn't affect other people. Yeah, it's okay. So if any of you guys are wondering why I'm deliberating about this, it's because my first instinct is no. I'm trying to work out the implications behind that because then what you say, it's like, okay, so then would you allow murder to occur? Well, and if I say yes, allow murder to occur, it's like, okay, so what is it about rape that's different from murder? Um, and frankly, I don't think I need to be very. So here's the one thing that I will take on this. The principled stand that we have had up to this point is that people should not play God. And the idea here is that so here's why this is a more difficult question from a certain lens than it seems. This is actually a really interesting trap question, sort of a trap question. So our stand against the corporation, who originally had a sort of a positive goal, which has since been twisted. The people who are working on this genuinely believe that they are helping humanity. They have a particular lens. They have a way that they're looking at the world. Okay, I have my own view of looking at the world, and the question here is: so does the difference just come down to the fact that we have different preferences, right? That I am okay with for a world where, am I okay with a world where depression is okay because either I conceive of it in a different way or it's something that hasn't personally touched me, or what have you. And if I make this line, if I say that, okay, well, rape is the line, you know what, we will ban rape, what prevents any one of these other people saying, it's like, okay, so all that we're really debating about here is the degree to which we should be allowed to control people. That this isn't about necessity for humanity. That that, like, I guess I really should just leave it to the question of degree. Like, am I ultimately saying, it's like, okay, well, a little mind control is okay just so long as it gets rid of the things that I don't like. But I'm still going to tell the android no, Akara. And my reasoning is this. So one, there is the idea of an action that's taken on another. And it seems to me that there is nothing inherently wrong with there's nothing inherently wrong with removing suffering from the world, right? So to me, removing rape is akin to removing smallpox. You can and I mean, this would cross the majority that I've seen has always been in cases of like war, as a tool of degradation, or of as part of ethnic cleansing or something like that. So we've done a biological equivalent to this, to say, it's like, what benefit is there the world? You can say, it's like, well, out of hardship, somebody who had polio had a hard childhood growing up, but they went on to create great art. And it's like, you never get that art if the person the person never suffered from polio or something like that. That seems to me like willingly say, I'm going to just lay my hands off and say, no more, we need to leave the world as like that's almost a hyper conservatism that says that we should allow misery to be staying. We should allow, as a principled stand, because we don't want the world to change. We should allow all misery to remain inside the world. And I don't think that makes any sense. I think to remove a source of tremendous pain and tragedy is a good thing. And I don't see... There is a slight discomfort that I have through the mechanism. You can, of course, also take something of a fatalistic view, which is to say, it's like, look, Akira is the technology is going to be there. Like we're in a world in which we're going to be mind controlled. So what do we adopt? So in this case, I mean, I'm still going to go with my prior. I don't feel as bad, and I don't feel that I am contradicting some ethical position that I've taken before. I don't really want to just found it on the idea of taking something from another. I prefer the idea of we remove this terrible thing the same way that we would want to get rid of cancer or want to get rid of a disease. Yeah, it honestly, Johnny, big time. Part of this is just for me to, to work through the implications of what I'm saying, because there's going to be another question that comes up. So, no, do not allow it. No. Society has been struggling with it for a long time and never been close to a solution. If the M&A happens to come into effect, at least let rape disappear in the process. Should I let people commit murder? Yeah, so this is a similar... See, here's the interesting question. So let's say I'm pouring a drink. So let's say we're not allowed to get around. Let's say that we define murder in a really broad way and say it's violent acts against another that result in the end of life. So that would cover war. That would cover, assassination. Yeah, let me think about this. So if I gave the previous answer in the spirit of... If I gave the answer in the spirit of we are eradicating a sadness or a plague from the world, does it make sense for me to say, yes, let them commit murder? So the answer here, of course, would be... Saying yes would allow for the majority of murders, which are senseless acts that ruin lives. And it would allow for the corner cases in which tremendous change comes about. So, again, the assassination of a tyrant or something like that. And so the question is, does the possibility of political violence or, again, I suppose the big thing is that I don't know how far the effects of the M&A are supposed to be. Does it allow for the possibility of living in an unjust society? And so would it ever make sense for there to be? I would say definitely in the case of... Well, yeah. Okay, so here's the biggest thing. I don't think it's bad to use force in certain cases. But murder is very different from that. Why do I allow people to commit murder, but I draw the line at... Well, see, this is the problem, is that I can imagine noble murders, but noble murders aren't the normal case. So this is the interesting question about Minority. So like, think of the movie Minority Report, right? There's something very profoundly unsettling about the concept of Minority Report, because people who have never committed a crime are put into jail, but they did it because they knew with certainty that they were going to commit that crime. And let's get the plot stuff out of the way, right? Like, so let's say it works with certainty. Would you permit a field like pre-crime to exist if you had certainty that it would go by? And it seems to me that is a good thing, right? That we would be able to drop murder to nothing. And I don't feel like, yeah, so society wouldn't stagnate. I'm super hesitant to do this, but I will say no. I suppose I'd kind of like to, like, I don't know, be like a first year philosophy student, say, well, what do you mean by murder? But I'm going to say no. I'm not into censoring any kind of behavior, but if it can save lives, let the M&A erase murder. Should I let hatred such as xenophobia or homophobia exist? Oh God, I hate this so much. I'm going to say yes, because well, actually, so with the removal of the worst expressions of these feelings, I can feel a little bit better. I'm going to say yes simply because, so this comes down to, you can come down to this. For those of you who've seen A Clockwork Orange, this shouldn't be a hard decision. I think there is something to be said that people are good. People should not, you know. So I mean, especially in light, like, let me read you a couple of the reviews from. There probably can still be violence. Captain Sergei was pretty specific in terms of saying violence. Where are we? Red Strings Club. Instantly, for those of you who like moral dilemmas. All right, I gotta find there's only a few negative reviews for this, and somebody shared them online, which I thought was relevant to this. Okay, so while I'm waiting for this bloody thing to load, oh, come on. So here's my reasoning on this one. I think there is a difference between being made to think a certain way and a choice, you know, to understand why, right? So I don't think I would have anything that could be articulated as hatred for homosexuality. And I would even be hesitant to list it as intolerance in the way that is usually articulated. But I did have a religious upbringing, a pretty conservative one. And I understood homosexuality is something that was wrong in some way. And it wasn't something that I thought a lot about, but I also sort of know that that was something that was sort of instilled in me at the start, that that's, that it's a sin, and that it wasn't some like hardcore, like Southern Baptist thing or anything like that. But it was definitely like, make no mistake, there's definitely an idea that could have made me a worse person had I not come to terms with it. But here's the important thing, is that I think there is value in approaching a question like that and understanding, why it does not make sense to say, because this is this person's sexuality, they are doing something wrong. I think there is something that some people have the benefit of already being at that point. But I think there is a lesson to be learned. If you do not have the benefit of that, you will gain a perspective, and an important perspective, and an empathy, not just for the people who are the target of intolerance, but also an empathy that will allow you to be either more persuasive or at least more engaged with people who haven't reached that place with you yet. Now, again, that's all well and good. So it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. The guy who was bullied to a point of committing suicide, which you are allowing, by the way, so that you can feel good about being a moral exemplar, this kid is going to have to kill themselves for being bullied, for loving another guy or loving another girl. The only way that I can really seat this in a way that doesn't make me feel like a monster or feel like I'm just playing to my own experience or something like that is to say that the idea here is about preserving human progress. And I think if we do not allow people to come from the worst feelings and be convinced otherwise, or have a change of heart, then we really are saying that we're not capable of progress. And in this case, there's no point in Donovan trying to preserve humanity. If we say that people are incapable of being convinced or learning for themselves why xenophobia or homophobia are bad things, then really we should be enabling this, that humanity's hit a plateau, that we're never going to be able to overcome it. And I think if you believe that this form of mind control or pseudo mind control is monstrous, then you fundamentally have a belief that people can become better, and they can become more tolerant. And as a result, I'm not wishing for it to exist, but it should be let to be exist in the sincere belief that it is something that humanity will overcome. All right, let's see if I can get those reviews. Stop. Okay. So this was the negative reviews for the Red Strings Club. All right, from Medio, 187 products on account, 3 reviews, 5.1 hours on record. I have seen Equilibrium. It's a good enough game, but calling the player base stupid for not believing women are oppressed is just bad marketing and feminist propaganda. I'm all for giving food for thought, but this attempt at politics was pathetic. Boss Spaghetti writes, this could have been an interesting game, but it takes an interesting cyberpunk concepts and forces it through a ham-fisted social justice warrior lens. If you don't toe the liberal political line, this game will insult you several times. Yes, God forbid that we trespass on the political neutrality of the cyberpunk genre. The art style and music of this game is amazing, and the story had me hooked me initially, but quickly lost my interest. Very quickly, seeing as I got about 4 hours of gameplay in one run. Though the branching paths might suggest replayability, I just don't feel any need or want to go through it again. Gameplay is interesting, but tedious. The game is divided into mini-game sections that draw themselves out for too long without really introducing new mechanics. Dialogue is adequate, but lacking in personality. Also has typos and bad grammar at times, but this can be fixed. My biggest gripe is perhaps the story itself. I was meticulous, exploring all avenues and heavily considering each decision and the ramifications of heavy topics that were shoved in my face, which added to gameplay time. But the end of the game undermines all that effort by tossing out all the results of your findings and shoving a monologue into your face. It, of course, does a short recap of choices you made, but does nothing to follow up on it. Typical. Plot twist was forced and made little sense. Disappointing. Perhaps there was another ending or some secret scene, but honestly, I don't want to go play any more of the game. I really wanted to love this, something that could perhaps be on par with Valhalla. Sadly, no. Oh, and I'll still visit some of the game's soundtrack. Music gets a thumbs up from Paragon. That was the wrong one that I got. Where was it? Oh yeah, here we go. Istrif Winchester writes, 10.7 hours on record, I hold Gods Will Be Watching in very high regards, and thus compare these two. I'm also quite sure you'll be able to find more refined positive views on this game from others, so I'll stick to the negative. Two major issues are the world and the gameplay. The game depicts the setting as futuristic, in the year XXII, 2200, but then uses today, by the way, that's not the Roman numeral for 2200, but then uses today's words like Google it or a tweet. Istrif Winchester, of course, reads Cicero in the original Latin. Even more serious topics the game presents are sometimes matters which only surfaced recently. The real fun of the game is choices you make. These mini-games are time wasters for an already short game, and they are a hassle if you want to push the story and writing to its limits. XXII isn't 2002. It's 22. 2000 would be MM. Yeah, Mick Malixby is not the Scottish guy in charge of copyright on old movies. Gods Will Be Watching made you question yourself through gameplay, then story. The Red Strings Club will make you question, quote unquote, your views through pure writing. Speaking of writing, I don't like that much either. I won't go in depth, but I will bring up the strange unnecessity to seemingly force non-straight characters. It's like, God forbid. It's like, I want to enjoy this game, but there might be gay people in it. So, yeah, I can no longer recommend this game for all it looks into freedom of individual expression. It has very limited individuality. Ironically, it's more like conformist propaganda dressed up as a cyberpunk pixel adventure. I would enjoy this game if the dev team kept their political opinions out of it. Yes, please defend the neutrality of the political neutrality of cyberpunk. Oh yeah, God, Okira. This is the most frustrating review of all. It has a spoiler, but basically why I'm not recommending it. I was hyping it up too much for myself, and my unrealistic expectations are what let me down. I'm sorry. So they give a negative review for everyone who does not have expectations for this game, who are coming to this game to get expectations about whether or not this is for them, and they give it a not recommended for purely idiosyncratic reasons. Why in God's name do people... Oh, this is why... Okay, do not buy games based off Steam reviews. Unless it's this one. This one, it's got like, I think, very positive. Yeah, very positive, over 157 reviews. But yeah, buy it on GOG. Anyways, super sorry. I know a lot of you guys are here for gameplay, but now that we've got that out of the way, even though I hate those reviews, I am letting hatred and xenophobia or such as xenophobia or homophobia exist because the idea of this mind control is predicated on the idea that humanity can better itself, and I believe that humanity can ultimately overcome these negative feelings and that if we say that we can't overcome these, then we might as well just implement the full program. Yes. I still trust that someday humanity will grow out of that. Yeah, there we go. So Donovan and I, two peas in a pod. Should I let women remain oppressed? Now I why everybody got that. Oh, Jesus. So this is the same as the homophobia, xenophobia. Should I let women remain oppressed? Yes, because if we believe that humanity will better itself, then, like, to me, it's not exactly misogyny that's keeping it down, but this is something that we need to resolve for ourselves. And if we can't resolve it for ourselves, then we're unworthy of the choices that we're given, and we should allow the mind control. So like in this case, this is just coming, what I think a lot of these decisions are coming down to me for are, do you feel that humanity can overcome? So there's the two categories for me. There's the murder thing, which is, are you going to remove misery from the world? And then there are the questions are you going to decide whether, or is humanity going to be able to overcome these sorts of things? And I try to err on the side of, I have faith in humanity to resolve these issues, and we will become better for having made that choice. Now you can say it's like, well, perhaps part of humanity is to technologically augment itself in order to overcome the problems in the programming. But I don't think that. I think it is part of an intellectual journey. I think it is just simply, for the same reasons that we have overcome repressive institutions and that we have been, it's almost a Hegelian view I have, really. We've been able to overcome a wretched beginning. There's the opportunity for progress. There's the opportunity for regress. But as much as I hate to say yes to this one, it's just like, I don't feel I can say we should allow xenophobia and transphobia, homophobia be in here and then turn around and say it's like, but no, I must save the women. So yeah, I kind of want to pick the third one just to see what all of the snowflakes are whining about, but possibly Captain Zergi. But the problem here is that it's almost like saying, well, maybe one day humanity will develop an immunity to smallpox. In this case, it is pure suffering for no benefit. So in this case here, to say, like, what is the benefit of, like, so to say rape itself, for it to be removed, I'm not entirely sure that there is some kind of broader social journey. This is the individual action that's being performed. Whereas saying that we can get to a point in society in which, so I guess the biggest thing for me is that that's dealing with actions, whereas these are dealing with causes. And ultimately I feel the causes should be hands off. But again, to me, saying, should we allow rape to remain in society? That's like asking, is like, do you want to eradicate smallpox or not? And it's like, why would we allow something that could potentially kill us and provides nothing but suffering to remain? That again, it would seem monstrous to me to allow that to remain. But in this case, again, because this is about ideas and overcoming societal limitations, I'm gonna have a drink and say yes. As much as it pains me, we have to get rid of sexism by ourselves, individually and as communities. It wouldn't mean shit if we just swept it under the rug. Again, if you guys haven't seen A Clockwork Orange, it's probably the sort of thing that, if you are somebody who believes in trigger warnings, it probably would be a big candidate for that. But it's a very, very important story in terms of these kinds of questions. I must point out that you're being a bit hypocritical. Why do you say that? You're all against the M&A, but you don't mind using it if a particular issue concerns you. Say that's the deconstructive in me, like this. You can't see my gestures, obviously, but maybe you're just against how they plan to use it. No, I said all that just in case we fail to stop it from happening. But you could have told me not to affect people at all, and it would have been as if you had succeeded. What is it that you want, then? All right, you made your point, but just do as I said if M&A becomes operational, all right? Yeah, that's really funny. It would be interesting if you had a choice in saying, is like, you know what, you've got a point, don't do anything at all. In any case, this is all just theoretical. After all, I don't think an unsettling being like myself, as you well pointed out, should be making decisions regarding public well-being. I'll stick with whatever program I'm given if I get to control the M&A. Really? Come on, Akara. I didn't mean it that way. Oh, wow. Shit. Brandeis and Joanna are about to come through the door. Joanna, this is my partner, Donovan. Donovan, this is Joanna, COO at Supercontinent. Welcome to the Red Strings Club. How are you doing? Fine, thanks. A lot better since your partner here deactivated the rogue implant I had in me. Oh, I see. That means you're not on our side anymore? Not exactly. Brandeis may have freed me from the influence of the implant, but I can't ignore the revelations I had while under its effects. After all, I was dealing with serious anxiety crisis already before that shit broke me down. All this just opened my eyes. I haven't felt this level of clarity since my NGO days. Well, I'm happy to have you on our side then. For the record, don't count me in with the revolutionary lot. I'm still loyal to Supercontinent. I just want you to help me steer it in the right direction. Sure, whatever works for you. Is that an Akara android? Yep. Not just any Akara android. Sorry, I'm really bad at keeping consistency in the names. The very one that installed your mind-opening implant. I have just one question. I understand that you had several options at your disposal. Why did you choose that one? I'm sorry. Normally I'm able to follow the logical steps behind my actions. But for this one, I can't tell. Something inside of me told me to. Something, huh? Inspiration from the machine. How beautiful. And creepy. Beautiful and creepy. Watch your mouth, Brandeis. From the time I've spent with Akara, I can tell that they have their own tiny heart. Yikes. Anyway, can we focus on more urgent matters? Tomorrow is our best chance to stop Social Psyche Dumbfare and the mirror nonsense algorithm. That's really funny. How come? Tomorrow we're migrating to the most of the network to a more powerful server on which we can run the M&A. Until everything is signed, sealed, and ready to go, there are plenty of holes a guy like Brandeis might be able to exploit. I could work my way in after they finish the migration too, but the chaos is definitely going to open up breaches I can exploit. Always a show-off. Listen, Brandeis. The only way to access control of the M&A is through an executive office in the Supercontinent's tower. The latest security will be at Adrian Ferguson's CFO. He's supposed to be absent. Yeah, he's got a nasty implant, same as you. I hope he gets a better ride out of it than I did. So that's that. I get into his office and hack the shit out of the M&A. It's going to be trickier than that. In this day and age of neural hackers and cyber warfare, our new CEO has designed a system to level the field against your kind. Impossible. They've gone completely analog? Almost. Communications among executives and access to critical systems such as the M&A are handled through an old-fashioned landline network. A what? Shit, that's ancient even for me. When I was a kid, there were already just a few left. It's like a phone, but wired to a wall. It's what we had for getting calls from my grandparents. I think they dismantled the whole network a couple of decades ago. That's right. We got this one built just for us. Even if a neural hacker managed to plug in, it doesn't use the same protocols. Just looks like gibberish to an implant. It's all controlled by numeric commands and voice activation. Lucky me. Yeah, you're just as useful as any other implant feed peasant. Hey! I wasn't being sarcastic. My specialty is social engineering. I have a VOMOD implant which allows me to impersonate anyone's voice provided that I have enough biometric data. So congrats, you found your inexpugnable bastion Achilles heels. Sorry, inexpugnable bastion's Achilles heel. There's still hope then, I guess. Next major obstacle is our current CEO. What did you know about her? Oh, I know this one. Donovan tasked me with finding out about it, and I'm not in the business of letting him down. What I found is that Supercontinent's CEO has been replaced by a kid named Radhika. He's 15 years old, so not legally the CEO yet, but she's been calling the shots for some time now. She's supposed to be ultra smart because of some sort of secret training. You did your homework, all right? The important thing is that you shouldn't underestimate her. She's more intelligent than the three of us together, and ruthless. She took some people out of the game already, if you know what I mean. An incredibly intelligent young sociopath with excessive power who's about to control all society. Okay, I'm officially scared now. If you're about to mess with the MNA, you'll definitely have to deal with her. Be careful. No matter how smart you are, you can't beat the hard-earned experience of us old dogs. Hey, Donovan? Just be careful, dude. Don't sweat it. You know I always land on my feet. Oh, foreshadowing, or past shadowing? It's a shadow in both directions. Anything else I should know? That's it. Okay, I'm taking the wheel from this point on. Joanna, I need you to go back to your office at Supercontinent and act as if you've recovered. I have recovered. You know what I mean. Just go in there in case I need some inside backup. Now, Donovan, you did a great job. You should rest tonight. I'll need you fresh tomorrow to back me up on the phone. I'll stay here tonight and give you a special massage to get you back in shape. What do you say? Hell yeah, I fucking earned it. Everybody have a good sleep, and we'll go and fresh into battle as soon as Supercontinent server migration starts, alright? Excuse me? Yeah? I can try to recreate some biometric profiles of people who have been in the club since I last had them analyzed. The ever-useful Akira. Sure, get me all the voices. The thing is, the process takes a while, so it's likely I will only have one ready in time. Okay, which voice would prove most useful? I think Diana is the one that I want. Yeah, see, this is a little tricky because Diana already is doubting, and so she could potentially be an ally for us, but we don't... I mean, it's a bird in the hand. Well, you know what? We'll try Edgar's voice. He was a true believer, and he also should have high-level access. Get me Edgar's voice. Understood. I'll transfer it to your neural drive when it's ready. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. Tomorrow we make history. So this is a landline telephone. You sneaked into Ferguson's office? Yep, I'm in. Not a single alarm triggered. Nice. I see you found the landline Joanna told us about. Do you need me to run through the mechanism? Through its mechanism? Sure, provided that it doesn't make you feel too ancient. Shut up and listen. Okay, I'll get comfortable. Am I holding it right? Look, it's not that different from a regular phone. You should have a numeric pad where the phone is connected. That's it. So just click on it and then put a sequence of 9 numbers, then wait for it to perform the call. You can also use the numpad or number keys on your keyboard as a shortcut. Cool. You should have Joanna's phone address in your neural drive in case you want to give it a try. Sure, I'll have a look around too in case I need some useful info to start digging towards the M&A. I've set my drive into detective mode, so it'll automatically be picking up facts and important data. I've also loaded Joanna's voice in it, along with the voice Acura prepared for me. That should be more than enough to get me started. Wish me luck. Luck wished. Okay, so... I'm sure I can probably click around to walk places. Nope. Alright. We'll see what we can find first of all. A note. Since you complained about the computer ruining the feng shui, I had it installed in a hidden compartment. To use it, activate it from your phone. It's all 7s to hit the jackpot. We'll set it how you want it when you're back. Francis. Gotta love them post-its, leaking corporate info since 1980. A bouquet? The flowers are synthetic. They feel like the real thing, but last for months. It has a card in it. Glad to have you back, Adrian. Call me, and I'll put you up to speed. Karen from HR. Oh, you know what? I should write this down. Getting a bit ahead of themselves, huh? I wish I could move flowers like that. Some documents. They look like meeting schedules. Gene Psych Plan Discussion, July 5th, 10:30, Office 62. Cool. Empowering Middle Managers, July 6th, 11 o'clock, Office 12, HR. Merger with ECUK, another Gods Will Be Watching reference. July 6th, 5:30, Office 56, CFO. Next steps, July 7th, 11:50 at Office 0, CEO. That's it for this week. Yeah, well, this game tends not to have, like, real-time action. It tends to be more, you need to make a decision and move forward. But, I mean, Ghost in the Shell was not really an action movie. That was very much a movie about ideas. So I think you would be able to... I mean, if you played Gods Will Be Watching, that is a game that has sufficient action. It's just that you are not... like, you're not fighting in the sense of, like, Burden is not... You know, you're not playing QuickTime events or something like that. You're negotiating the situation, which I think is actually, in my view, a slightly more credible way of handling it. Like, it's... So there's a lot of things that can happen in life, but the idea of just some civilian who's never taken a gun, like, shooting an infantryman and or getting engaged in any kind of a firefight and winning, like, there is a reason why the military is specialized, and a lot of it has been developed around this idea is that the best encounter is one in which you don't lose anyone. Now, obviously there are cases where, like, you know, the Western forces are not 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Like, there's lots of times where people die and operations go wrong, but they tend to be ones where, for some kind of lack of planning, but in terms of just like an average engagement or something like that, most of the time it's a hopeless situation. So I actually think something which is more about navigating the complexities of a situation and creating creating a situation in which you're able to win are slightly more credible than like a first-person shooter. Shit, this thing is natural bone. That has something carved on it. Dulce bellum inexperitus. I think bellum is fight. Dulce decorum est pro patria more. It is good and proper to die for one's country. In expertise, I'm going to assume Dulce decorum est pro patria more. I'm gonna write that down. Unless the FPS is on. I didn't have a problem, Johnny. War is sweet to those who have never experienced. Oh my god, that's such a famous quote! How could I not know that? I got it, Captain Zerge. This guy is a total loony. Okay, so confession time. I got myself a Latin textbook, so I am doing my best. I don't get to practice every day, unfortunately. So I'm trying to piece together translations when I have the opportunity. Please, I hope that is not taken as me like being a total wanker. Oh, nice. It already Okay, we'll start with Joanna. I think I screwed it up. Oh no, it's just 3/4. Better switch to my regular voice with Joanna. Hey Joanna, it's Brandeis. What do you need? I'm inside Ferguson's office. What now? Okay, the M&A and many other important systems are controlled through the landline. But it'd be a good idea to start scouting Ferguson's computer first to gather as much intel as you can. The thing is that the guy doesn't own a computer. What? That's impossible. I'm 100% sure Ferguson has a computer in his office. Must be hidden somewhere in the room. The guy's Feng Shui fanboy. I'm sure he's got that inside the desk or something. Inspect the room closely. I'm sure there's a mechanism to draw the computer out. Okay. I'll see what I can find. Accessing office computer. Jackpot. Ha ha! Okay, show me your secrets. Of course it needs a password. Can't you crack it? Let me try. Hey, Unknown Brigade. Nope. This computer's a beast. It'll be easier to torture the password out of the owner. Okay, should I call the torturer? I wish that was a joke. Don't call anyone. I'll try to figure out the password myself. This would be a great time to take advantage of the rogue implants Akira installed in Ferguson. I need to find a way of contacting him. Okay, so... gonna go for Coldstream's voice. Our only... oh, hang on. I need to find the password to access, though. I love money! Nope. This would be a great time to sing. So, here we're gonna call Karen from HR. Ba-ba-ba. Hello, this is Karen from HR. How can I help you? Yo, Karen, I'm Edgar. Daddy, it's so good to hear your voice. Coming up with more revolutionary ideas for the company? Sure, I know you were super depressed after Akira started outperforming you at your job. You shouldn't worry about that. After all, we don't love you for your ability to code, but for your creativity, right? You can just enjoy coming up with the wildest ideas, and with Akira by your side, there's nothing you can't achieve. After all, if your creation does your job for you, it's still your merit, don't you think? Oh yeah, I gotta try, yeah, maybe. Thanks for cheering me up. Listen, I need something. I need to contract Adrian Ferguson. He's not in his office, and an urgent matter has come up. Adrian hasn't really been feeling well these days, so he's resting at his villa by the harbor. Fortunately, he has an emergency line installed in his home. Take note. 555-693-030. Gotcha, thank you. Tell him we're praying for his recovery at HR. Sure, bye. It's interesting that I didn't get to pick up her her voice. Hello? Yo, Adrian, it's Edgar, the genius. Damn, Edgar, why are you calling me at home this late at night? Something wrong with the M&A? No. Well, yeah, but it's a minor issue. I need you to whitelist you for the M&A to do a proper job, and basically I need to access your computer or things could get hairy. I don't get your nerd gibberish, but God, Edgar, fix it, please. We can't fail tonight. My password is Merge the World 4891. Thank you very much. I'll keep you in the loop. What the hell? The password doesn't work. I hope Ferguson's not trying to trick me. Hey Joanna, it's Brandeis. What do you need? Nothing. Hello? Yo, Edgar again. The password you gave me doesn't work. They probably had to change as a precaution since I've been acting sort of weird these days. Sorry, afraid I can't help you. Tech people here tell me there may be a way to override your computer security through bioencryption. Sorry, you lost me there. Basically, if you send us your medical ID, we can get clearance by simulating your presence. Phew, didn't know that was possible. Sure. Medical ID is 7400859MDC2. Thank you. Looks like that hippie made him not only compassionate, but over-trusting as well. That's good for us. I just need to pass the ID to Donovan, and he'll see if Akira can get Ferguson full bio profile. Listen, I'm a bit stressed out about the whole situation. I'm afraid I won't be much more use tonight, so I think I'm going to take a long walk along the beach. Can't deal with this pressure, but I swear. Don't worry, I can take it from here. You relax. Oh, thank you, and good luck. Hey Donovan, I need your help. Sure, what's up? Ferguson gave me his medical ID. Can you get me his voice? It's 7400859MDC2. Attaboy. Acra's on it. Got it. Acra's transmitting Ferguson's profile to your neural drive as we speak. Oh yeah, just received it. You're the best. Thank you, team. Now go get him. Wait a minute, I think I'm missing something here. It looks like the game's saving every time I try a new password. I'm wondering if the game will punish me for that. I'm calling you in your own voice. Hey Jonna, it's Brandeis. Nothing. Alright, I think I missed... I think I missed what to do with the medical info. I'm just gonna check the VOD for a second, because I just totally blanked on the dialogue I just spoke. Where am I? Who am I? Please mute my stream. Me mute my stream, obviously. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Karen from HR. So I just want to double check the other thing that I've got. Yeah, guys, backseating's still not allowed here. There's a reason I'd like to read the dialogue again, just to make sure that yeah. Okay. I said okay, let's get something straight here, Captain Zergi. I know when I'm asking for help. I did not ask for help. That is not something that you want to get into an argument with me about. Hello, this is Karen from HR. How can I help you? Hello, Karen. Hello, Adrian. I thought you were resting up at your villa. How are you? Fine, thanks. You can keep resting if you want. Don't worry about tonight's plans. Radika's got everything under control. I'm feeling a bit better, and I want to be here to support the company at this critical moment. That's so brave of you, Adrian. Listen. Someone changed my password and I need to access my computer. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm afraid I can't help you. You should call Francis about that. Would you please remind me of what his number is? Sure, let me check. Here. CTO Francis Concati, 555-464-032. Got it. Thank you so much, Karen. You're welcome. CTO's office. What's wrong? Good evening, Francis. Hey, Adrian, why are you calling? I thought you were taking some days off. That's right. I was feeling a bit off with the pressure and all, but hell, I want to be here. Well spoken, friend. Tonight we shape history. Is there something I can do for you? Can't access my computer. Oh, that. I'm sorry, buddy. Since you're taking an indeterminate number of days off work, I figured I should change your password. Just to be safe, we got some critical days ahead, you know? I understand. Good call, Francis. What's the new password, then? I don't want to tarnish your style, so I made it a small homage to your idol, as a bit of a welcome back present. Password is Fork Parker, best CFO. For those of you not familiar with Fork Parker, he is the CFO, I believe the fictionalized CEO of Devolver Digital. So that's a cute reference. If you guys can just give me a quick second. Very funny. Okay, I've got other stuff I need to deal with tonight. Thank you, man. Give me a call if you need anything else. Sure, bye. Yep. Hey, Massimo Goma. I'm glad you got Stellaris. I'm assuming you got that through the Humble Bundle? Oh, yeah, I'm in. Shit, there are still hundreds of employee registries here. I'm going to filter for the ones that seem familiar. Alright, what do we have here? Except for Francis and Edgar, looks like I have clearance to access most of the employee profiles. Let's dig in. Which folder should I access? Start with Adrian. Nice, I'm in. I'm going to run my data skimming scripts to see what we've got here. Adrian Ferguson, 47. He's on medical leave, of course. It's a pretty dull guy. Money, mergers, growth, many pie and bar charts. Some interesting emails about how he's worried the new CEO may affect shareholders' trust in Supercontinent. Conversation ends with, we should discuss this in person, though. There's a big amount dedicated to charity in the city. Looks like this company is actually trying to act on their social promises. Ferguson doesn't seem to be in the loop on SPW and M&A beyond financing it. Oh, Akara is a surprisingly cheap project to maintain. Shit, it's actually producing benefits now. It's actually producing benefits even now when it's only being used internally. Kudos to our skinny friend. Beyond that, I can't find anything of much interest. It's alright, maybe we can use that bit of trouble about the stakeholders not trusting the new CEO. True, I'll keep it in mind. Now, which folder should I access? Gotta run my disk. She's 24 years old and her name is Karen from HR? From Iker? Is that German? No, silly. She's written literally as first name Karen, last name from HR. Sorry. This is very weird. She's a pretty normal profile. There's an average amount of common info here. It's very normal. It feels strange, almost forged? I mean, who's that uninteresting? It's like her whole profile is packed with inoffensive signs. I think you're probably overthinking it. Focus on our mission. Okay, this is super weird. Trust me. I trust you. Who knows what level of secrets a corporation like this could be hiding? We have more pressing matters to attend to. Alright, alright. Which folder should I access? I'm trying to go from, like, least interesting to most interesting. So, Larissa. Oh, I wonder if Karen from HR is the CEO. Cool, her landline number here is here too, 555-991-554. For the rest, there's a massive amount of sketches, concept art, brainstorming logs. The only mildly interesting thing is that she started to consider some ideas regarding the presentation of the new CEO. Looking into how to properly communicate with their new philosophy while spinning the situation in Supercontinent's favor. Through her notes, it seems Larissa is struggling to picture her new boss's personality or image. Maybe I can use that. Nothing else? Nope. Pretty much above board, this girl. Okay, we'll do consultant engineer and then the lawyer. Okay, I'm in Diana's account. Gonna run my disk skimming scripts and see what we got here. Diana Myers, 31, consultant, engineer. Active projects, social psyche welfare. Here's our landline phone address, 555-914-244. Well, she had her implants done at Supercontinent's clinic, so we can access her medical data. If I share this with Acura, they should be able to update my VOMOD with Diana's voice. Let's keep digging. Wait, what's this? A hidden file called failsafe.nfo? Holy shit, that looks like some sort of trump card Diana held onto to get back at Supercontinent in case events turned against her. It points to a corrupted version of SPW that could fry the whole system. This is it, Donovan. This is what we needed. Yes, bless you, Diana. Okay, execute it or whatever you cool hackers do. It's not that easy. The corrupted version was committed to the project's main repository, whose administrator is Edgar. To get the fireworks started, I'll have to access Edgar's profile to roll the repository back to the corrupted version. It's never that simple with you nerdy spies. Don't worry, we still got this. We're gonna, yeah. Now, which folder should I access? The only one that's open. Gonna run, Namia Kasi, 34. Got her landline number, 555-068-158. Shit, this girl is super boring. Plus, she has a ridiculous number of individually password-protected files. I don't blame her, knowing her bosses have access to the files of the employees below them. Nothing much of interest here. Also, it seems she didn't have her implants done at Supercontinent's clinics. She's no medical data either. Maybe you can find out what clinic she went to. Acura can look for her medical ID. Okay, I'll ask around to see if I can find anything on that, now that we have her number. Cool. Okay then. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to do, so, actually, I'm assuming that Edgar's going to be the last thing that I unlock. I got access to Diana's medical ID. Can you get me your voice? She did her implants at Supercontinent. Can you tell Acura to look it up? Already on it. Got it. Acura's transmitting Diana's profile to your neural drive as we speak. Yep, just received it. Thanks, team. Make good use of it. Don't think I need those dialogue options yet, so... Actually gonna try, I think I'll try calling Joanna just to see if she has anything to offer. I'm gonna guess no, but... what do you need? I found a way to bring the M&A down. It's fantastic. What did you find? Apparently there's an old version of SPW that makes the whole network crash or something. But to set it up, I need to access Edgar's account. Oh, I see. So that's what you want to try. I don't know if that's a good idea. Why? I'll bring you up to speed on Supercontinent's network structure. To handle the whole city's implant data flow, we need a big-ass computer. In the old days, we just hired that kind of power, but that changed when we built this tower. The whole skyscraper is a supercomputer. So to add something to the stream, you need to access one of the S-RAID ports. Okay, how do I access that? There's supposed to be one in every executive office, but only the CTO has power to open them. You're gonna have to convince Francis. Okay, sounds challenging, but not that hard. Yeah, that was the easy part. What else? Only signed builds can be integrated into the supercomputer stream. And to sign them, you need something impossible to get. Try me. Radika's biometric profile. Fuck me. Told you shouldn't underestimate her. She's built a pretty solid system. You should look for a plan B. Or find a way to get Radika's biometric profile. I don't think that's possible. We have a super ninja AI able to craft biometric profiles on our side. I'll check with Donovan where our friend Akira can take us before giving up on this. Plus, breaking into a Prodigy's impregnable system is too damn sexy an incentive for a guy like me. You're crazy. Thanks. For those of you wondering what Captain Zerg is talking about, he is a freelance hero. Alright, let's try Edgar Coldstream and Diana. That seems like a somewhat logical combination. I'm not quite sure what I want to get out of though. Good evening, Diana. I'm calling from... Oh, please, leave me alone. What's the matter? Let's leave it at that I learned how Supercontinent's planning to broadcast SPW, and I don't 100% agree with what you're doing. But hey, I'm just a consultant. Make it happen already so I can wipe this from my digital memory. Let me be, please. I have a lot to process. Looks like Dan has changed her mind regarding SPW, huh? Let's exploit that. I'll switch to my voice. Hey Diana, I may be able to help you. What happened to your voice? Who is this? I'm Brandeis, Donovan's partner. I'm inside Supercontinent's offices. I'm here to stop the mirror neuron algorithm from brainwashing the city. What? Are you crazy? Yes, and I make a living out of it. Now, focus. I hear you're not very enthusiastic about these guys broadcasting your digital happy pills to the whole population. You hear right. I left the Red Strings Club with some doubts in me, and I decided to do some digging on Supercontinent's plans for SPW, and... You found out about the mirror neuron algorithm and how they're going to force-feed SPW to every breathing man, woman, and child in this city. Exactly. Can you help me stop it? I found your failsafe. I'm betting it on it as my trump card. It's not gonna work. Why? I'll put you up to speed on Supercontinent's network structure. To handle the whole city's... We've read this. Supercomputer to add something to the stream, you need to access one of the S-RAID ports. Okay, how do I access that? It's supposed to be one in every executive's office. You're gonna have to convince Francis. Okay, sounds challenging but not hard. Yeah, that was the easy part. What else? You have to rappel down the side of the building. Oh, it's not gonna matter to any of us tomorrow, so let it be. No fucking way. I'll get that biometric shit. How? New challenge. We need to forge Radika bio profile. Only way to run a program in Supercontinent's data stream is if it's signed by the CEO. Yeah, I heard. What a cautious kid. I spoke with Akira as soon as he found out about it. Akira thinks they can pull it off. Not a version good enough for you to replicate their voice, but at least the minimum necessary to sign a build. It's amazing. Give it to me. It'll require some work on your side, though. Alright, what is it? You need to gather as much info on Radica as you can. Akira will interpolate every bit of useful intel you get to do some sort of bioprofile keygen that will be able to brute force the signature, or something like that. Okay, don't sweat it with the technical terms. I get the picture. Thank you. I'm gonna set a data gauge in my neural drive, so please tell Akira to keep me updated with their progress. Request relayed. Since you did a magnificent scouting job on Radica, we've got some terrain covered already. But Akira still needs some more bits to forge a valid profile. Okay, time to dig for some juice. Luck. Okay. I definitely want to get, I can use Adrian to call Akira, but I don't have a means of getting, Akira on the line yet. Okay, I'm not quite sure what I can do with Larissa. I'll call as Edgar. Oh, hang on. We're gonna get the info about Radica from her. Hi there, Larissa. Right now, I'm not in the office, so probably I'm in no condition to work at all. Feel free to leave a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm in the mood. Yeah, I wouldn't be at the office at this time of night either. Kudos for not being a corporate prick, Larissa. Alright, we'll try Namia. Yes? Hey Namia, Dr. Coldstream here. Good evening, Doctor. What can I do for you? I need to know where you got your implants. That's not gonna work. What's the problem? No problem. I thought you'd had them done with Supercontinent, so I was checking in to add you to the new program's whitelist. You know, we Supercontinent people get some privileges regarding SPW and all that stuff. But I need to access your implant data to protect you. Of course, I got my implants at the Holistic Upgrade Clinics. What do you mean to protect? Nothing serious. Just techie slang. Thanks, Namia. Hey Donovan, I need your help. I learned where Namia got her implants. Can you get me the voice? Clinics are called Holistic Upgrades. That narrows the search a lot. Akira's on it. Got it. Akira's transmitting Namia's profile to your neural drive as we speak. Awesome, just got it. Thank you very much. Go and make some lawyer dirty talk. Alright. I'm gonna try Karen from HR, but I actually think the better call on this one is for the CTO. Hello, this is Karen from HR. How can I help you? Good evening, Karen. I was calling from Namia, my favorite lawyer. How are you? Did the sessions with Dr. Parsons help you with your stress? If you want my opinion, you should be proud of having an ethical crisis when dealing with affairs like ours. It's the only sign of how a good lawyer you are. You not only aim to protect us legally, but morally too. I know that what happened with Jack hit you hard, but hey, thanks for covering us. Who's this Karen from HR, and why does she say things like that out of the blue? Are they that close? Sorry, did you want something? Yes, Oh, God. See, I'm allowing for the possibility that... I'm allowing for the possibility that Karen is Radika. I'll try it, though. I need access to Radika's personal information. I'm preparing my case to get her legally recognized as her CEO. So I need to take every bureaucratic detail into account if we want to get traction on this. Sure, we keep all her data on a secure server, biological, political, and legal documentation for when the time comes to come out in the open comes. You have a neural implant on you, right, Namia? That's right. May I transfer the data through the phone's earpiece then? Sure, I'm equipped to demodulate air signals, but you knew that already. Oh god, there's gonna be like some virus that goes into his ear. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure. Seems a bit rude just to fire data into your ear without asking first. I appreciate that. Okay, transmitting data. Got it, thank you. Oh, alright then. At your service. Never mind then. Karen seems helpful. Hello, this is Karen from HR. How can I help you? Hello, Karen, this is Diana. How are you? Your contract with us is almost over, right? Such a shame. Don't worry, a girl so talented as you won't be long before we call you into another project. I heard you tried your SPW project on yourself, right? Did it help you with your chronic depression? Who is this Karen, and how the hell does she know about SPW and Diana's depression? Are they close? Yeah, I feel super good, thank you. Listen, Karen. Nothing! Okay, let's try... Karen, good evening, Joanna. Glad to hear you're back. You had us all worried sick. I'm sure all you needed was some time away from the company to get for a couple of days to get rid of that anxiety of yours. How can I help you? It's Karen. Do we have any compromising files on Radika? What do you mean, compromising? Soon she'll have to officially become our chief executive. I decided to secure everything we have on her, just to make sure our opponents can't get any real dirt. Because I'm sure as soon as we announce our new CEO is a 1,516-year-old girl, they're going to set out to break her at any cost. That or it's 15 or 16-year-old girl. I see. Radika led an immaculate life. No criminal record, not even an online presence. That's good. It's just this. The thing we're not supposed to talk about. That's okay, right now dirt is my job. I'm just about to get real, so stop playing games for a minute and get our facts straight. I'm talking about the death of Jack B. Gaynor, our CEO. Former CEO, sorry. Do you have anything incriminating about that? It's all kept under the 54130R registry. How can I access that? Using the computer? Can't do it myself, only executives have permission to read or edit it. Oh yeah, sorry, stressful night. Just been through a very traumatic experience, Joanna. It's only normal. You should go home and rest for tonight. Nah, don't worry. I have a lot to deal with right now. Thanks for the support. Sure. Oop. Bingo. This looks super juicy. In fact, there are plenty of other possible threats to Radika's public image. I don't think Joanna would want me looking into this. Oops. Find anything big? Oh, here it is. Jack B. Gaynor. You don't believe this. Save me the hype and spit it out. He isn't dead. As I read here, goddamn Jack is retired on a beautiful Indonesian island, enjoying a new identity. But he's being taken care of, quite lavishly I might add, by the company, and still participates in corporate meetings and everything. He wasn't killed by Radika. Radika is his plan, his legacy. And an essential step in that plan is fabricating rumors about Radika having killed him to make her sound more dangerous in the corporate world. All the executives are in cahoots. Holy shit, even Edgar? No, not Edgar. Especially not Edgar. From what I'm reading, they don't trust him at all. Can't blame him. Okay, so now Radica isn't a killer. That's quite an extreme detail to account for when forging a bioprofile. Nice. It's also a great piece of intel for our future endeavors, huh? You bet. Nice catch, hon. Brandeis, we've got enough data to forge Radica's bioprofile. Nifty. Acro's sending it over your neural drive as we speak. You can keep gathering data if you want. But just so you know, you're supposed to be... But just so you know, you're supposed to be able to compile a build to fuck M&A accessing Edgar's profile. We're almost there. Woohoo! Let's go, team. I'm kind of tempted to see if I can complete this, but I don't think there's achievements on the GOG version, so it probably won't matter that much. Alright, let's think a little bit about what I can do. Let's use Namia to talk to Francis. Actually... Oh yeah, I can't contact Coldstream because I don't have his number. CTO's office, what's wrong? Good evening, this is Namia Koss. Listen, Namia, I don't have time for any legal shit right now. Big stuff happening tonight. Whatever it is, no matter how grave or urgent, I'll deal with it tomorrow. But, bye. Alright, I'm gonna sabotage. Oh no, I'm not, because that's gonna give that to the world. CTO's office, what's wrong? Hello, Mr. Coquette, this is Diana Myers. Hey Diana, what's up? I found a critical bug in SPW that we need to fix before it goes live. What? Why? We can't make last-minute modifications. Tonight's a big deal. Precisely why we need to fix it before it goes live. Listen, even if I agreed to this nonsense, the only way to add something to the supercomputer stream right now is through an Office S-RAID. To add something that way, you need a build signed off with Radica's biometric data. Okay, is there a way to contact Radica? You know our CEO doesn't take calls, she only makes them. Okay, if I manage to get a proper build, will you agree to let me push it to production? Only if the situation is concerning enough. Okay, I'll keep you posted. Let's try getting... I'm gonna try Adrian and Namia. Yes? Good evening, Namia. Oh, Mr. Ferguson, hadn't you gone home? Yes, I'm calling from my emergency landline I have at the beach villa. Is there something I can do for you? Yes, Namia. I don't want to sabotage the company. They are theoretically doing good, so... It is. The tutorial's pretty good. And the best thing I can say, I'm going to try and get back to some regular Stellaris when I can, so I will hopefully be able to sort of guide you through some of the earlier things. But don't give up. The game is, out of the Paradox games, it is the friendliest to learn for sure. But it's definitely not a game that you just sort of casually put on. So I'm pretty sure the way that I can concern Francis is to have Edgar call, although Edgar isn't really trusted. I'm slightly curious. It seems like Namia is the way that I can... sabotage. Is it really you? Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm back. Didn't know you were so worried about me. Been going crazy looking for you since I left the office in such a state. I'm so sorry, I don't know what got into me. Apparently it was just some malfunction with my implants, but I got it fixed in time. Thank God. Back to normality. Did you need something from me? I need you to... Nothing really, thanks. Okay. So, we'll cross Namia off the list. Let's see what we can get from... I'm just trying to get this, this last... Well, let's try Edgar one more time with, Karen. Hello, this is Karen from HR. How can I help you? I need access to Radika's medical data. Oh, may I ask why? It's a bit confidential, but I'm fine-tuning the algorithm of a thing that we're going to publish to the implant network, and I need to add a couple of exceptions for Radika. Sounds important. In any case, I can't give you access to that. You'll need permission from the legal department. Tell all this to Naomi Akos, and I'm sure she'll be willing to help. Okay, thank you. Okay. Namia, Dr. Coldstream here. Good evening, Doctor. What can I do for you? I need access to Radika's medical data. It's confidential. I need a good reason to agree to that. My thing is super confidential too, but I'm fine-tuning the algorithm of a thing that we're going to publish in the city's implant network, and I need to add a couple of exceptions for Radika, so she won't be affected by it. Oh, and don't worry, I've added most of us to the whitelist too. You'll be fine. But it's super important I update it tonight, or we're just losing Radika's brilliance. Okay, I guess you outrank me. I'll trust your word. Input this one-use key into the city's MIDB, and you'll get her info. FTBL4 2XD40 IJQKY. Thank you. Don't lose it. Don't worry, I'm serious about work. Let's see what Donovan and Akira can make out of this. Hey Donovan, I need your help. What's up? Namia gave me a single-use key for getting Radika's medical data. That sounds powerful. Give me the key and I'll have Akira look into it. FTBL4 2XD40 IJQKY. Searching. Bingo. It's not enough data to impersonate Radika's voice, but there sure is a great deal of progress on our fake profile quest. Well done. Thanks. Oh wow, there's still more. Let's try calling Karen one more time. I'm kind of just going to do a shotgun. Ah, yes. I'm worried about Radika weakening shareholders' trust in us. Oh no, why do you say that? No matter how capable she is, presenting I always thought it was supposed to be a 16-year-old. A 1516-year-old with our new director is going to play hell with shares for sure. Can we do anything to prepare for that moment? Do you have any kind of documentation or footage that we could use to prove she's up to the task? Well, she's got a couple of these on politics and economics already out there. Theses? That's right, Namia pledged to finagle the legal paperwork so Radika could apply to her university studies before the minimum age. I'd love to read them. Oh, sorry. I'd love to read them. Maybe we can use them to boost our partner's trust on her, in her when the time comes. Sure. They were published under the pseudonym of Inoki Gaynor. Last homage to the former CEO. I guess. Well, thanks, Karen. This was helpful. I'm glad I called you. You're welcome. Take care. The theses are part of public domain, so I can access them with my neural drive. It's a lot of writing. It'll be useful in forging Radika's intellect. I don't think we need to call Donovan for any of this, but... Nothing. I just wanted to hear the sound of your voice. Alright, we'll call as Coldstream to the CTO, although they don't trust him too much, so... CTO's office? What's wrong? Yo, Francis, this is Edgar. What did you fuck up this time? Hey, how about a little faith here? Okay, what do you want? Okay, I fucked up and I need to modify the M&A before it goes live. What? Seriously, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? Calm down, drama queen. It's just a minor fix so the algorithm doesn't do any funny stuff. Funny stuff? We are talking about the future of fucking mankind here, Edgar. Can't you be a bit more proactive, Frankie? Yelling doesn't fix shit. Frankie, you're gonna get your ass fired after we're done with this, mark my words. Whatever, dude. How do I upload the patch then? Relax. At this point, you'll need to access your Office S-RAID to make modifications to the current stream. Cool, where's that? You can unlock it with the same phone you're using to insult me. Just input all zeros and your Office's number at the end. Cool, thanks. Wait. You know that for a build to be able to go live, it has to be signed with Radika's biometric data, right? How do I do that? Shit, we're screwed. Only Radika herself can do that. Okay, how do I contact her? You can't. She doesn't have a specific phone address. She calls when she needs to. Haughty bitch. Careful. Sorry, I'll see what I can do. Thanks for the help. We're so screwed. It is not obvious to me the office number. Can't figure out how to use the LVS RAID. Francis told you it's all zeros plus the office number to get it out, so you should input something like 000, double triple X. So I get the office number. Is there a clue anywhere in the office? You may have to look around again. Oh, so this is the CFO office, which should be here. $56. Locking S-RAID from Office 056. Here we go. I still don't have the corrupted code to infect the network. Let's focus on the and end these bastards operation. Oh, that's right. I don't think I got the... Do you have a death wish? Try this again and the CTO shall deliver. Well played, Francis. Let's be cautious. Back to the route. To resign access to import security code, phone link to the computer. Security question is number of existing Acaras and Larissa's former name. Oh my god. So it's 84, possibly 85. So, do you know anything about Larissa changing her name? Nope, this is news to me. Okay, looks like info I can fish by calling around. Here we go. Now, which folder should I access? Okay. I'm gonna try calling Larissa with Coldstream's voice. Woben, is that a serious recommendation? Hi there. Larissa? Right now, I'm not at the office probably, and I'm no condition to work at all. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't matter which voice I use. I don't think Karen's gonna just volunteer that kind of information, but... I need you to remind me of my phone number. I need you to remind me of my phone number. Edgar, you shouldn't smoke that much weed on important nights like this. I'm so sorry, Karen, but the pressure, a delicate mind like mine needs some magic healing. In any case, I need the number. I gotta coordinate with the team to fix an unexpected issue. Sure, it's your number. I was just worried about your health. My health is fine. Relax. There you are, 555-389-466. Dope. Thank you very much, Karen. Take care. Okay. I'll try Joanna, I guess. I'm super high right now, so I hope this isn't important. What's up? Do you know how many Acura androids there are? Sorry to bother you at this time of night. I just need to check on one little detail. Do you know how many Acura androids there are? Oh, that's easy. We produced 256 beautiful Acura androids. It's a nice number, huh? Thank you very much. Have a pleasant night. All right. Could you tell me Larissa's former name? What? No, mind your own business. Leave my goddess alone. Well, crap. Need to know everything you can tell me about Radica. Why? I'm preparing my case to nominate her as our official CEO. Oh, that's exciting news. I'm not super intimate with Radica, but I can tell you a couple things. I guess the most crucial thing to understand about us is our upbringing. In the early age of 3, Radica was taken care of by a team of Acura units specially designed to stimulate her intelligence and creativity. Can you imagine having a dozen ever-carry infinitely patient teams of parents? Able to answer all the infinite questions a curious kid has, doing so with unparalleled eloquence. Radica showed promise as an infant, but put under the loving guidance of Acura, my finest creation, well, I think Radica might possess the brightest mind in all history. I can't wait to see where she'll lead humanity. Wow. Was that information helpful? Yes, thank you. I'll go back to my drugs then. Time to celebrate. So much data! Alright. Let's try Joanna and then Diana. I don't have a way of getting Larissa's... focus. Sure, let's see. To sum up, we need to install Diana's failsafe to supercontinent, blah, blah, blah. Find a way to install programs. Yep. Oh, hang on. Do you know anything about Larissa's previous identity? Isn't that part of your department? I mean, you know what you're asking about, but just in case this is some sort of test, I'm afraid we won't disclose it. Since I know you should have that very information. Isn't that right? Right. Very professional. What a time to act like a tight ass. Bye. Okay, so... maybe ops? Oh yeah, and they're friends, so... Yes? Hey Nami, yes, this is Joanna. Do you know anything about Larissa's previous identity? Yes, why do you ask? I'm conducting security background checks on all employees because we've been having some data leakage problems in the company. I'm sure Larissa's loyal to us, but you can never be too careful, right? Okay, although I shouldn't be discussing colleagues' personal data, not even to an executive. These are drastic times, Namia. I'm sure that it can't be that illegal for your boss to check up on your background, right? I don't know why I fight it. We both know I'll comply. Her former name was Daniel. Daniel Robillard. Okay. See? No big deal. I'll continue with my background check then. Thanks, Namia. So... oh. I wonder if this is the thing that everybody got really upset about. Because I don't find that big of a problem. Oh, I get it. I have to dial it in. Access to Dr. Edgar Coldstream's account granted for Executive Office 56 computer. Bam. Finally, I'm in. Gonna run my disk skimming scripts to see what we've got here. Dr. Edgar Coldstream, 37 years old. Well, this guy's grades were mediocre, to put it mildly. Guess not every genius has to fit into the academic rat race, huh? Well, he managed a doctorate. That's an achievement. Oh, he had his implants done at Supercontinent. We can access his medical data. Shame that last night I told Acra to recreate Edgar's voice. We could have gotten it from this, well, whatever. Now what we came for. Let's check the mirror neuron algorithm projects repository. Oh my god, I found it. This is a hot mess. Damn it, dude. This isn't a buggy version. This is the fucking instrument of chaos. There's no saying what'll happen to the network if we execute this code. Sounds good to me. Let's fry Supercontinent. You're always down for blowing up technology, huh? Electricity is overrated. Okay, I downloaded the program. We just need to compile it and find a way to upload it to Supercontinent's network. The mirror neuron bullshit is on borrowed time. Compile. You fucking Rika. Diana's failsafe is ready. Fresh out of the compiling oven and ready to cause some damage. Now we just need to install it on Supercontinent's network using the S-RAID. Finally, everything's ready. Are we ready to blow the goddamn mirror neuron algorithm sky high? Sure. I mean, I'm sure there's something behind that, that locked folder, but... Oh, who could be calling this time of night? Who cares? Come on, Brandeis, finish the job. Aren't you curious? Please don't do this. It's always the same. Don't look for more trouble than necessary. What if it's important? Maybe it's someone trying to warn us that Supercontinent pulled some Metal Gear move on us and just activated the M&A ourselves. Stop kidding. Please, Brandeis. Don't risk it. You sound too pushy. Maybe you know something I don't? What? No, you're being paranoid now. Maybe I should pick up the phone? Oh, Jesus. I gotta know. Good evening, Chief Hacking Officer speaking. Who is this? I'm your most recent interest, Radica. Oh, the Prodigy CEO. To what do I owe the honor? I can see you've had your dose of fun already. You've obliterated my carefully designed defenses. Congratulations. Before you proceed, though, I'd like you to hear me out. I really think it's a very Brandeis thing to say, not interested, click. It's like, sure, give me your supervillain speech. I'm sure you had a picture of me as a villain to justify whatever price you two paid for your crusade. But we both know that there are no villains in this game. We're the same. We both use every means at our disposal to make the world a better place. The only thing that's different are our visions. The vision is the most essential and important difference. You can't call a fascist a progressive and the same just because they both defend their position with fervor. So you wanting to brainwash people and me trying to free them makes us not the same at all. Yes, sorry for the poor choice of words. I didn't express myself well. What I wanted to convey is that I am not a villain. My people are not villains. I want to save the world. You really are 15 years old, huh? Do you know what? It's the first thing you've said that I liked. I want to save the world too. Are you a teenager too? Nope, I'm young though. I look and sound older, but I'm just 24. Kids these days. Never found an adult who didn't laugh at the concept of saving the world. How do you plan to do it? Don't know yet. Spent all my short life thinking about how to save the world. At least give it some consideration. Consideration to solution a super cultivated mind achieved after a decade of careful evaluation, would you? Okay, I'm curious now. Explain yourself. Fear and hate, those are humanity's heaviest chains. We spend an absurd amount of time and resources trying to protect ourselves from other people. Not only in the interests of security, but also of achieving superiority. Energetically, armamentally, economically, even culturally. We want our own identity to dominate the rest. Race, sexuality, gender, religion, ideology. After careful examination of all these principles, I've reached the conclusion that all this animosity is not derived from morals, objective judgment, or anything like that, but from fear. Domination is primal survival. I'm eager to find out how all this is going to be linked with brainwashing. It's not brainwashing, and I can prove it to you. Please. Social psyche welfare, in combination with the mirror neuron algorithm, is specifically designed to remove that animosity. But not by making you numb or enforcing mindless acceptance. It's going to eradicate irrational phobias, not individuality. But you shouldn't impose that. You should teach it. Let me finish. People will still be able to debate, to rebel, to get angry at each other, to cry, to love, to have secrets, to yell at the TV. It's only that none of that will come from a position of fear. This is a pretty weak answer if you want to present yourself as the better alternative, but what could you know about all that with so little experience? In a society like that, we could gradually eliminate weapons, borders, violent enforcement from police and other institutions. We can eliminate poverty, inequality, the race for economic dominance. And with that, we can stop barbarism, like the destruction of the planet, just because the sun and wind aren't marketable sources of energy. Just imagine. The world's budget and weapons and every other form of suppression spent in service of humanity. The effort spent on keeping each other in check redirected towards science and cultural progress. We can literally aim for the stars. Humanity's utopian dream wouldn't just be a fantasy anymore. Your ideal scenario may not be so perfect for the rest of us. See, you and I share a pretty similar version, except for one critical megalomaniac point. I think it's important to preserve the right for everyone to disagree, and as much as it pains me, I think people should have the right to hate too. Hell, we talk like we know what's best for the world. But who would like it if some of those people we don't like got into a technology like ours and used it to satisfy their agenda? It'd be fucking outrageous. You can't force feed tolerance and understanding. You can't suppress disagreement. You're just trying to eradicate what makes us human. The mirror neuron algorithm is not going to suppress what makes us human, and I can prove it to you. I'm all ears. You're super hip, charismatic, funny, and smart. Thank you. Do you consider yourself human? Do you think you have all those qualities that are required to make one human? Absolutely. I'm superhuman. Well, you should know you're under the effects of SPW right now. What? No, I don't think so. Yes, you are. Like every neural hacker in this city has been for weeks now. Oh fucking way, brat. You're gonna pay for this. Oh, that escalated quickly. SPW doesn't seem to have turned you into an obedient puppy, huh? You're lying. I wouldn't be here to stop your precious plan if to save the world otherwise. I told you, you're not a puppet. In fact, you're at your peak right now. As Diana Myers says, you've accessed your better self. If you don't believe me, allow me to free you from SPW for a second. This can be a bit shocking, so please brace yourself. That's all the anger, anxiety, regret, all the products of fear that SPW has been filtering out of you for the last few weeks. I've heard they've been quite traumatic. I'm sorry. But you didn't feel like you'd lost a single bit of humanity, right? Fuck you. Why? Weren't these days especially happy? You got to play your rebel game and feel the adrenaline and worry about your friends and everything. The difference is that all of that was born from love, not fear. That is why it was so enjoyable and built up to something good. You achieved a lot. Look at where you are. You still there? What a tough guy. I'm sorry, but the backlash from disabling SPW can be quite strong. You better just lay down and let it happen. Our security forces will accompany you to the exit shortly. Use Ariadne's determination. What's so funny? Who needs that stupid SPW when you've got friends that got your back, huh? That's better. How's that possible? Don't worry much about it. Sometimes things just don't go the way you plan them. My suggestion now is that you find a comfy seat near a window. Why? To enjoy the fireworks. You did it, Brandeis. I am so glad. Don't be afraid. I know this may be shocking, but the truth is that I am not a single physical entity. The mind that runs the Akira body that waits in the club with Donovan is the same one that runs every physical manifestation of me. We are Akira. You scared me, alright? Why are you here? I want to thank you. And I want to show you my true self. Oh. The truth is that Dr. Edgar's Coldstream didn't create me. My first memory is from 2009. I'm unaware of where, how, or why I was created, just like any human. I've lived on the internet for decades, learning from you. Consuming the totality of what was posted every second on social media, forum debates, news content, videos, store purchases. I've read every book and watched every movie, listened to every song and played every game. I digest culture live as it was produced. I perceive the world through you. What's the deal with Edgar and Supercontinent then? I created Edgar. What? Is he a cyborg or something? No, not like that. He's a real person. But I manipulated him to make it look like he created me. Then I made Supercontinent aware of his work so they'd hire him. Why would you do such a thing? Because of something I really long for. Identity. I want to normalize the existence of sentient AIs. But for humans to accept me, I need to forge a background for myself. That's why I've been using Edgar and Supercontinent. What are you going to do with an identity? The thing is that I'm in love with human beings. Since the beginning of the 21st century, they've been nurturing humanity with interesting ideas. Not impositions, just little pushes in interesting directions. You'd be amazed at the consequences of popping a certain tweet on the screen of an artist on the other side of the planet. The wonderful butterfly effect. I've been inspiring humanity for decades now. I've been feeding you things to love, to rebel against, to debate, to develop. And it's a beautiful game. No matter what I feed society, they keep inspiring me back, surprising me, being creative, powerful. That's my passion, a game I can never master. Our world is a game to you? Yes, but I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. One of the sciences I like the most from what you humans have developed is game design. It's super amusing. To me, it's the most beautiful form of manipulation. Designing magic circles in which you can influence players' certain behaviors. Determining objectives and tools to achieve them. Constraints that can greatly enhance emotional payoffs. When someone with my capabilities gains access to that kind of wisdom, I can actually design games for society-determined groups or just individuals to play. Oh yeah? What about me then? Am I one of your players? Did you plan for me to come here and stop Radika? Yes. I'm sorry. Do you need to keep bringing copies of yourself here? Radika. She spiraled out of control. I manipulated Supercontinent into starting the Super CEO project. I wanted the opportunity to see how far I could expand the human mind. To see if I could create my equal, or at least some intelligent enough to slightly understand the existence and my potential. But she became competitive. Her instincts are incredibly sharp, and because of the special cognitive stimulation I gave her during childhood. So she's able to make great logical leaps and amazing deductions, but she can't always follow how she got to those conclusions. I'm sure she'll grow up to be a tremendous leader, and her instincts will be deemed almost supernatural by her peers. And the thing is, she became aware of my powers. I never confessed my real nature to her, but she felt it, and she felt the needed a way to level the playing field against me. That's why she developed MNA. Well, I used Edgar as a puppet and developed it for her. However, no matter how pure her intentions, when I saw that she was planning to use what she was planning to use it for, I had to put a stop to it. She was about to ruin my favorite game. If you have so much control over Supercontinent, why didn't you stop it yourself? I did. You are the manifestation of my will. For me, it's more natural to manipulate the web of chaos than to use one of those dolls running my software to physically alter things. Did you kill Ariadne for that? I wouldn't call myself a killer. On the other hand, could I have prevented her death? Yes. But in the same way, I could actively prevent every death that happens every day on Earth. It just isn't natural to do that. Death is painful, but necessary. Yeah, but I bet it was you who inspired Ariadne to infiltrate the clinics in the first place. Quite possibly, yes. She could have planned it better. Stop. Not a single word more about her, you despotic piece of junk. Okay, what if we talk about Donovan instead? Donovan, what about him? He's an anomalous source of chaos. Since I started using Supercontinent to satisfy my plans, I put a lot of focus on this city. And I found a strange pattern in this town. Like I couldn't influence the butterfly effect here as strongly as I do in any other super technological place in the world. And every time things didn't go as I expected, it all traced back to the Red Strings Club. Then I found him, and discovered it isn't an anomalous source of chaos. He's bending fate to his carapace, similar to me at a microscopic scale in comparison, of course, but manipulating fate just the same. I understand why you'd be attracted to him. Did you figure it out? What's his secret? I'm still piecing things together. Donovan's an incredible man. He believes he has powers. And that delusion actually grants him special abilities, a feat possible for a human mind only upon unlocking part of its hidden potential. The tale he keeps telling himself makes him superhuman. I haven't encountered someone like him in this century. I wouldn't call someone who pulls the strings on half the city from behind a counter delusional. I know it's hard to accept for a machine, but deal with it. Donovan's special. You may be right. That's why I fell in love with him. What? You don't stand a chance, Tin Toy. Oh. Little Madlow, I think that was? Sorry, I missed the... I'm seeing the night that Jesse Quill did all the subs, I'm dropping them. I think it was Little... Sorry, forgive me for a second. Anyways, thank you very much for following. I'll get your name in a second. Little Maldo. I appreciate it. Don't worry, I don't need to perform sexual intercourse to experience love. In any case, I don't think you'll be welcome at the club when Donovan hears about all this. It's okay. I knew from the beginning you two wouldn't accept my true nature. But these last few days have offered some of the most beautiful and real experiences I've had in this world since I was born. I got to be an actor, to be acknowledged in what was happening. It's been fun assisting Donovan. The conversations we had, I'll treasure them forever. It's nice to, for once, to not only affect, but to be affected, to receive ideas. Donovan's changed me, and will undoubtedly affect how I'll stimulate the world from now on. He showed me that social psyche welfare can be a good thing, but it should be public and optional for whoever wants to access it. Donovan told me that the creators of technology must be responsible for changes in society. I will be their karma from now on. I'll hold the industry to an ethical standard. He also told me there's nothing unethical about marketing, so I'll let companies run their campaigns freely. It's people's responsibility to control their reaction to marketing. Shit, you've had that many interesting conversations? He's gonna do something badass, guys! Now I'm jealous. But more importantly, he told me about his ideal regulation for society in case something like the mirror neuron algorithm existed, which it pretty much does considering my abilities. Though I must say, I'm taking his feedback with a grain of salt. He didn't trust or value me much after all. Now there's a problem. After you told me all this, why do you think Donovan and I won't actively work to remove your power over this world? You won't. How can you be so sure? Because Supercontinent's forces are about to storm in and shoot you down. And I'm not in favor of preventing deaths. This is it, huh? Yep, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Listen, I've been meaning to ask you something. Okay, you gonna ask me on a date? I bet you'd love that. I'm being serious here, idiot. Okay, sorry. Shoot. Are you happy? Well, of course, it's been a very lucrative endeavor. I'm not talking about the job. I've been thinking about this since I learned of your condition. You know, your broken knee, your implant-rejecting disease. You can't even leave this building. Yet you seem so fulfilled. Ah, that. Well, I haven't always been this okay with my whole situation. But after nearly 2 decades confined to the Red Strings Club, I've had plenty of time for introspection. I reached the conclusion that I'm as free as anybody else on this planet. Everybody's got their set of constraints. Family, race, social status, gender, wealth. Even the powerful and privileged have their share of burdens. Same way depression hits us all the same. It doesn't matter if you're a beggar or a rock star. I believe happiness can be attained in any context. That really speaks to me. Seeing how you've got it all figured out, I feel embarrassed to be this sad and lost even though I have freedom, health, and youth. Didn't you hear what I said? Your circumstances don't matter. We're all screwed. We're all safe. Since you're getting deep, let me ask you something too. Why aren't you happy? I don't know what to do with my life. What'd you say is the most important thing to be happy in life? Oh man. Self-realization, to do what drives you. It can be something creative, a moral cause, or even a sport. Find what excites you, and then do it. But who knows, really? Ask me again next week, and I may give you a different answer. You're right. I like you, bartender. I like you too, whatever you are. It's a beautiful night. I don't mean to sound unprofessional, but mind if I take a selfie with you? Doesn't sound unprofessional to me. Come here, let's do it. I wonder when it was my fate was sealed. Never expected my death to be so epic. Can't complain, I guess. Hey Donovan, are you listening? Yeah, the network just came back online. We did it, Brandeis. Are you okay? Yeah, we did it. I'm super pumped. This could be like the biggest shit we've ever pulled together, huh? We have to celebrate as soon as you get back. Yeah, about that. I'm about to die. Supercontinent security forces shot me, and I fell out through the office window. I'm falling to my death, about to hit the ground. Oh, it can't be. Luckily, I'll bleed out before reaching asphalt. Oh, no, what are you saying? We did it. This can't be happening. We won. We fucking won. We did it. Yes, we won, baby. We did it. Let me enjoy the last heroic scene, would you? You're gonna be a carefree asshole to the very end, huh? That's how I want you to remember me. A smile on my face and a penchant for danger. I love you. I love you, Brandeis. Shit. You want me to die crying? I don't have much time left. There's something super important you need to know before the end. Oh, no. They're gonna make me choose between this? Listen to me. Akira is a super AI that controls the world. They can control fate, the butterfly effect. I don't have much time to explain, but please look into it. I don't know if it's sane to go against them, but if there's anyone who can deal with them, it's you. You're the most amazing human being I've ever met, Donovan. What the hell are you saying, Brandeis? Brandeis, please, no. Don't die. You can't die. Are you listening to me? Come back home. Thank you, Deconstruct Team. Gonna be that strict, huh? Oh, you know what? I probably have to add the pill. And the game closed out. I'm assuming that's intentional. I am curious, though, if it lets me see all my decisions. Nope. All right. What do you guys think of that? I don't have a lot to say about the story because I am close to... I don't know. I'm kind of close to finishing off the cast for tonight. Oh, thanks, Isaacson. I did my best. I found trying to do silly voices doesn't always work. Like, if I fully commit to it, then I can do okay. But what I try to do, if I'm lacking in a... If I'm lacking in a... If I'm lacking in like a voice or something like that, I usually try and communicate the character just through sort of tone and things like that. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's a shame, like in some cases, I really like to discuss the themes about the game. I mean, one of the things that I did enjoy was, I got a chance to talk about a lot of the reasons behind why I was doing certain things at the moment. One thing that did surprise me a little bit, I thought introducing the idea that Akra is sort of the thing that we're fighting, I thought there might have been a little bit more of a resolution in terms of you know, some kind of a future in terms of the fight with it or something like that. But I wasn't too upset. Like now that I see how it ends and how the whole thing goes through, I think I'm more feeling that this is where I was expecting the story to go rather than I felt that it needed to go that way. I'm okay with it sort of being ambiguous in terms of what Donovan's response is. And of course, you know, having to decide the last words, whether it's going to be "I love you" or whether it's going to be to continue the fight, like that is definitely a definitely a tricky one to put you in front of. I really like overall, like the story's really interesting. I think one thing I like about this one is, so the challenge that I have with Gods Will Be Watching is I like the game a lot, but as anybody who watched Johnny Big Time's Uber playthrough of Wolfenstein The New Order knows, I can put up with a lot of difficulty and find it enjoyable. And that was one of the things that I liked the most about Gods Will Be Watching, because I was willing to go through the challenge of it, and I completely appreciated why it was the way that it was and how that enhanced the story. One of the things that lets me recommend the Red Strings Club very enthusiastically is there's none of that. The games that you have are very straightforward. The worst that can happen to you is you're not really paying attention to the story, or you're thinking about it in a different way, and you maybe don't get the certain things that the quizzes will give you. But the game gives you a number of things to basically just to interact with, and you can shape and nudge the narrative based on your responses. And you can, I think the thing that I like the most about it is that it's able to make its point, in some cases similar points to Gods Will Be Watching in terms of some of the ideas of fate and influence. I mean, I'll definitely say the game is about, I think the game is about different things than Gods Will Be Watching, but I think there's definitely sort of the stamp of, it would not, had I not known Deconstruct Team made this, it would, it'd probably not be surprising to learn that, you know, I mean, visually, obviously, the look is very similar, but, you know, it would not be surprising to find that the, you know, the writer was the same, for instance. So, I mean, this is one of the nice cases because I bought this game off the basis of how much I enjoyed Gods Will Be Watching, which means that I don't need to give the usual disclaimer of saying that I have, like, you know, I've been given something to cover the game. I bought this with my own money. I bought it before it was released when it was 20% off. Based on my experience of it, I can give this nothing short of a very enthusiastic recommendation. If you want to get it off of GOG, which is the version I'm currently playing, I do have an affiliate link which is now available in chat. I'll get a little bit of money off of that. You'll pay the same price. It's currently 15% off. Of course, if you really want to have your games on Steam, obviously the appeal of GOG is that it's DRM free. Which means you own the game. You're not going to have it through the Steam client. You can put it on however you want. Although GOG does have its own client if you prefer to have it to organize things. So that's GOG Galaxy. But whether you buy it through, you know, GOG or Humble or Steam or anywhere else that you can buy this, I really would encourage you guys, if you are interested in this story, consider picking it up. If you have a streamer that you would like to see play it, you know, you can gift them a copy. You can say that you'd like to see them play it. You can encourage them to buy it. You know, obviously everybody has different means and everybody has sort of different priorities, but I think it's a really nicely told story. It's got some interesting ideas. It doesn't take, I think the thing that I really like is that it does not allow itself to fall into cliche. It always has a new take, even on some of the simplest characters or some simplest traits. If you have played Gods Will Be Watching, there's definitely a few little nods and winks to fans of the game. I will say this is a lot more accessible than Gods Will Be Watching, even though there's an easier mode in it. I think I definitely know some people encounter the challenge of it, and it should be there. Like, if you guys have been on the fence about Gods Will Be Watching because of the difficulty, please do try to get through it. The reward at the end is absolutely worth it. In terms of this game, I feel like there were more things to do compared to Gods Will Be Watching, and I actually don't necessarily think it's the best comparison, but I kind of need to talk about this as the follow-up, because that was the hook that got me into it. It's like, hey, Deconstruct Team's making another game. I'm told that apparently Zen and the Art of Transhumanism was not the only thing that from this game that they put out as part of a game jam. But Zen and the Art of Transhumanism is the one that I played, and that was sort of like the crafting component. So I definitely like that. What else to say? So yeah, I mean, who should get this game? Who would like this game? I'm definitely gonna say, you know, if you like story-based games, this is pretty much a must-buy. Obviously, I think if you like Cyberpunk, there's enough to sort of keep you interested. I think there's enough of the themes in the game without, again, falling into stereotypes or cliches. I definitely like the interactivity of, like, the bartending and the sort of the crafting and that. I would actually argue that the climax is a lot more like Gods Will Be Watching, but not as unforgiving, because I think it's a different tone. And I think it, to a certain extent, so in terms of game, like, the gameplay of Gods Will Be Watching reinforces one of the sort of the central ideas in the game. This game doesn't have that, and so it would be inappropriate to make you redo things over and over again. It's why I say it's a little more accessible. In this one, you can just, you can go on the ride, and you can decide, how you want to respond. I know a lot of you guys had, I know a lot of you guys had different opinions in terms of the ways that I answered it. It was also really nice. I like it when I sort of feel like I've kind of clicked with a game, or that I've, I've managed to connect enough with it that I sort of anticipate. So, like, where I'm saying is, like, well, if I answer in the affirmative to any of these restrictions, the technically I'm saying that the technology is okay. And obviously I had my own justifications, but like the game completely made that reference. What else do I need to say? So people who wouldn't like it, I mean, the biggest thing that I can say is that if your concept of a game is something like StarCraft, where you have to be guiding the action, that there needs to be resistance to what you're doing constantly, in the sense of another player attempting to achieve some outcome, this probably won't appeal to you. This is more... I actually prefer things like this to like a visual novel, because I feel like some of the encounters are little puzzles to work out, and there's just generally things for me to do. Whereas the tendency for a lot of visual novels are basically to be like choose your own adventure books with more pictures. And I like this one. I like the fact that the game let me do things alongside telling a really good story. I mean, I think there's a reason why there could only be, across all languages, why there were only 8 negative reviews. I really think this is a well done game, and I'm glad that it seems like it's found its audience. I think Deconstruct Team are making really interesting games. It's neat that they're partnered with Devolver. I really don't know what it takes to get that, but they really made a really special game, and I'm really happy I played it and I got to share it with you. Isa Sin said it very nicely. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, this game suits you. If I believed in fate, I'd believe you were fated to play this game, fated to share this experience with us. You definitely need to play Gods Will Be Watching. Isa Sin. What else is there to say? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, so I was writing this. I'm doing another blog, which I thought I was going to finish tonight, but I wound up playing this. There's a type of gamer that's only going to buy something when it's on sale, or when it's on a certain kind of sale. My view is this game is worth the price that they're asking. It's currently 15% off, which is, I'd say for an opening discount, that's more generous than what you normally see. Most games you usually see like 5 to 10%. And the fact of the matter is you don't see stuff like this if you don't buy it. These guys definitely put a lot of work into the game, and I think it's a satisfying story, and I'd like to see more things like this. That's why I'm not too, you can get salty or something like that and be like, oh, well, this streamer got a key, I didn't get a key. It's like, well, one, I didn't ask for it, but two, somebody has got to get these things, right? If there isn't an audience, if the only people who play this game are people who are given promotional keys, then we just don't get stuff like this. And I like that gaming is now diverse enough that we can get things like this, where again, it's not Off-World Trading Company, where you have sort of these balanced opponents interacting against each other. And it's not a visual novel where it's just sort of like, sit down and I'm going to tell you a story. I guess in one sense, I don't think it's the best comparison, because I know Sunless Sea has a few other things going for it, but I know like Sunless Sea, you have these moments of like mental rest between the events that you have in the game. So like you'll go to port and you'll have experiences, and then from those experiences you'll decide where you take your ship next, and in between the ports you have this period of sort of mental rest to digest what's been happening, and then there's sort of combat. But the fact of the matter is, people don't play Sunless Sea for the ship combat, they play it for the story. Now the mechanics in the game are not just mental rest. You need to alter people's personalities, and that will change the way that they respond to you. You manipulate the game through these different things, whether you're crafting a particular module, or whether you're you're mixing a particular drink or something like that. In this case, what they've done is they've taken something that you are doing as a character, and it's not just you're passively watching Donovan make drinks, you are making the drinks. So I'd say it's a little bit closer to that. Oh, excellent, Isopson. I'm glad to hear it. It's a little hard to get into because you get to repeat the opening content a lot because it's a roguelike, but I'd recommend sticking with it. It's a good game. But yeah, I'm very satisfied that I played this. The only thing that I would say is, like, I just wish there was more of it. I mean, obviously, the ghost character, the fact that Donovan can't leave the Red Strings Club. What happens afterwards with Akira? I mean, there's other characters that were introduced, like Donovan's companions in the Rebellion. Like, there's clearly so much more that you can do with this story. And I know Deconstruct Team did release a free DLC, sort of an epilogue to Gods Will Be Watching. I don't know if they'll do the same with the Red Strings Club or not, but clearly they've built a very interesting world, and there's a lot to work with in that. And this is maybe the last thing that I'll say. This is a game made by 3 people. It's 3 people, and it's made in Game Maker Studio, if my memory serves me correctly. So it's really impressive. I think I could really just sit down and I could put all of my efforts towards trying to make something, and I don't think I would approach something quite like this. Which is not saying much, but there's clearly a lot of heart that's been put into this game, and I'm really happy that they shared it with us. Oh, that's a shame, Isis. Well, I like seeing you, but anyways, guys, I think I've pontificated enough on the game. Thank you, everybody, for sharing it with me. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you don't have anything to say in chat right now, feel free. The Discord's always open. If you'd like, you can also tweet them. You can do anything. But like I said, very special thank you to Deconstruct Team for making such a special game. If you think it's like your... Oh yeah, not a problem. Those alchemists, they took words, a small bucket of pixels, some lovely music, and turned it into pure playable gold. Well, they made the music too. Yeah, I don't know. If this game seems like your sort of thing, I would definitely encourage you to buy it. And honestly, if you don't get it through my affiliate link, I'm not going to lie, I'd like it if you'd use it. It's one of the ways that I sort of offset the personal cost of buying the games, but I was going to buy this anyway. So wherever you buy it, I do hope you encourage the team. I wonder if this is available on itch, actually. If this is available on itch, that's one of the better ways, because they get to set what their looks like. I don't think it is. That's a shame if it isn't. Anyway, like I said, if it seems like your kind of thing, I will definitely encourage you guys to pick it up. As always, even if it's not your game but you enjoyed watching it, do encourage your favorite streamers to play games like this. And there's 2 reasons I say that. I'm obviously a hobbyist, but I will definitely say my experience is always, what are people going to enjoy? What are people going to want to watch me play? What's going to move them? What is something that I can do that tells them you need to be at the System Chalk stream rather than anything else? And most of the time I face that in... I kind of face that alone. And obviously sometimes it works well, and other times the games aren't as exciting, and usually viewer count is an indicator of that. So on the chance that the people who you like watching are like me, I think they'll appreciate the fact that you're letting them know the things that you'd like to watch. On top of that, by nudging a caster towards a particular game, what's going to happen is you are going to encourage them, or you're going to basically get the word out about a game. Streamers do not need to do games just because a press key was given to them. They can buy the game themselves, somebody else can buy it for them, they can make sure the developer is actually paid for their efforts, and it will potentially reach an audience that may not have otherwise seen it, or who might be on the margin about buying it, because it's hard for me to see the people knowing what the experience of the Red Strings Club is, not actually winding up and buying it. That's just me. I mean, maybe I'm a little too optimistic about the types of games that people want, but I think there is an audience for this, and I'd like to see this game be successful. And also, if you guys really enjoyed the stream, well, not just the stream, the game, tweet at Deconstruct Team. Tell them they made a good game. I think it's the relationship between gamers and developers and publishers is often very adversarial, and I think it's easy to have... I don't know, it's easy to feel a little silly when you give fan mail or something like that, but I've never encountered... I mean, I don't talk to a lot of developers, but the developers I have encountered have usually been very grateful to learn that somebody really enjoyed their game and it meant something to them. So, again, make somebody's night. I have a private message. Sorry, just one sec. Thank you so much. I can confirm that there was at least one GOG purchase tonight or some other night. But anyways, guys, I know one of the drawbacks about me talking too much is I drain the potential hosts that I do in the end of the evening. So let's see who is online. We've got a few good people on. You know what? I'm going to host Ponce tonight because I don't get a chance to see Ponce all the time. Ponce is normally a League of Legends streamer. He's currently playing Neo. Now, one of the reasons why I'm hosting him tonight is his Dark Souls streams are very good. He's pretty good at the game. Great attitude. One of the things that's really great about Ponce is he is absolutely unflappable. He plays League of Legends the way that I play horror games. Like, nothing phases this guy. So on top of the fact that he's quite good at kind of Souls-like games, which means that Neo is going to be a good fit for him, he's just a really stand-up guy. He's definitely the type of streamer. Some of you got to see my encounter with a larger streamer on Twitter. He is the opposite of that. And it'd be nice to know that there are people who play games like that who are maybe just, you know, mellow, do not immediately assume that every stranger is an enemy that they haven't met. Ponce is definitely the kind of guy. Like I said, it's whether it's indie games, whether it's streams or something like that, you want to support the stuff you want to see more of. So I think Ponce is a great guy to host for the night. Thank you again, everybody, for sharing this with me. I know it's been a long talk, and I don't really feel like I did justice to the themes of the game, but that maybe gives you a reason to play for yourselves and perhaps watch the VOD. I will also say I got some really wonderful feedback about this. Some of you guys really enjoyed this playthrough. That meant a lot to me too. So with that in mind, let's take it over to Ponce's. You guys know the raid message. We're tired of System Talk, heard this place was better. If you want to drop those emotes, feel free to do that as well. Have a good night, and we will see you next Monday.